where you were promptly teleported to Kulen Kress. While there, you saw that Gesh had been there a while, like kind of helping out with preparations. It was very much. So I'll tell you what. Let's see this in a minute. We'll go back to what I was saying earlier. We'll go to you guys like leaving the cave, just for funsies. You're very pleased to be out of this kind of wretched wasteland and back on the surface and everything, taking these lovely mountainous views. You're all there, including Trudy, Mogzenor, and Gesh as well at this point, but they're all T-posing. As you've walked out, you see, so Plana, I imagine you're looking around. Would you like to describe kind of how
where are we? What kind of is it in a forest? Is it?
No, so you've kind of emerged out of the Red Spore caverns, and kind of all around you is like a real mountainous vista. You're quite at a high altitude. You can see that further down some of the mountains, there's tree lines and woodland, you're kind of in this large open valley area, but you're all around you. There's mountains as far as the eye can see. Okay. All kind of snow-capped. Some of them taller, some of them smaller than you guys. So you're probably not far off like a dusting cloud layer as well, even though it's quite a blue day otherwise. There's sort of you see waterfalls and river courses and things. Okay. It's fine.
Cool. So are there any like nearby trees or bushes? Or?
So immediately outside at the altitude you're at, it's mostly kind of like shrubs and a couple of flowers are growing here and there. This time of year, just like mountain flowers, quite sparse, often quite leafy, with like small flower heads.
Remember that random flower that got that shot in one of the French restaurants that we went to?
Oh yeah, what's that lady?
That flower that only grew at like 2,000 metres or something.
Oh, is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Huh. I remembered.
Of Genepi.
So this is the view taken. You found like walking upwards through the Reservoir Caverns, the air was getting a lot better.
Assuming dandelions.
Yeah, it might be kind of thing.
Penny grows at 2,000 metres.
So as you were approaching the entrance, you would have found that the air was getting sort of less thick and dense, less
wet.
Yeah, less wet and story. And now you're finally here. It's kind of like even just a little bit into the cave, it's still dank and wet. And so kind of stepping out really is like a bit of a waft of cold air kind of rushes over you as you're on this windy mountain.
Yeah, cool. So kind of stepping out into the open, the sun's beaming down on us quite harsh. Kind of takes me a second to like readjust my eyes, and it's quite a little bit disorientating. And I kind of, when I look up and I look around, there's just complete awe on my face, and I stop and I drop my sword and shield onto the floor. And I just run over to one of the bushes and I start looking at the flowers, and I'm like, oh my god, look at this place. It's beautiful. What is this place?
I'll say, yes, terrifying, isn't it?
And I say, I must admit, I'm more of a city boy myself. Wait until you see the mighty cities of Eastbourne. Although, seeing how you are around that bush, I reckon you're in the right place. And just I mutter to Gesh, fucking tree.
Yeah. And I'm gonna just say, I'm just gonna kind of take a moment, just taking in the beauty of it all, and I'm slowly, my face kind of contorts into this like frown, and I'm kind of muttering to myself, and I'm saying, I don't get it. I don't understand. And I turn to you guys and I say, but how much of your world is like the place we just came from?
That's the first place of that nature that I've ever encountered in my 27 years of existence. Dorwin, I imagine you've encountered similar places.
Yes, there are a lot of there's a lot of space underground in these lands, but none quite as spory as the place we've just been. It was certainly unique. What you see before you is much more representative of the kind of scenery you'd find, most people would find in this world.
And again, I'll just kind of back to muttering under my breath a little bit. I'm almost looking a bit angry now, and I kind of say, you might be able to hear me say talking about somebody lying to me, kind of thing. And I turn to you and say, my friends, I'm afraid I'm going to have to take some time to myself. I have some things I need to mull over. And I jump up on my steed and I'll say, how long is the journey to Kulen Kress?
I think it's 2 weeks or something.
2 or 3 weeks.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can I just say, I'll meet you at Kulen Kress.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll say that they maybe give you a map.
I was gonna say because I can like talk to animals and stuff like that. I might be able to get the lay of the land of like how to.
Yeah.
No, squirrel, which way to Kulen?
I don't
know, but there's some pretty
I don't know, but don't check under this rock. There's no nuts.
Sure. Is there anything that you want to? Do you want to go through anything while you're in this period of time, or do you just want to, or do you want to say a bit of like what you?
No. That's the last you'll do for me, and then at some point I'll kind of rock back up.
Okay. Sure. Yeah. Nice. Oh, interesting. All right. Yeah. Nice.
I turn to Dorwin and I say, you absolutely cannot think that underground is better than this, having been through that.
Yes, how crazy of me to think that infinite shelter is better than these dragon-infested wastelands.
Oh, well, I guess there's no such thing as houses. An almost infinite supply of them, and building materials.
How's it burned down?
Nice.
Caves collapsed.
No.
Yeah, alright, fair enough.
Not caves that Dorwin did.
Yeah.
But
right, cool. Well, I guess with that we can elegantly snap back to where we were, and then it kind of makes sense as well because of obviously them arriving and Blarg and rock up later, which kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, so you guys are back in Kulen Kress. I'll say you spent one night here as we sort of role played, where you hung out with Gesh and Trudy a bit. Rudy, and we're chatting to.
we're now
Boris.
in Kulen Kress.
Yeah.
Fine.
This is where we got to in the last session.
fine.
Will pops back up.
Hi guys. A long time.
I've done a lot of mulling and I like it.
Would you like to roleplay something in Colofagure?
Sorry.
Yeah, no, we're in Kulen Kress. It's like we're back to on time, likely. So you see that Gesh has been spending a decent portion of the day, spending a section of the day like training some of the archers and hanging out with them. You guys maybe, I don't know what you're up to, but there's a lot to do in terms of logistics and organising people and informing officials and being in touch with liaisons from Eastbourne who are like wanting to understand what's going on. And everything.
I'm doing my best to look helpful without actually doing anything. I'm always standing around like there,
occasionally bark an order.
Yeah, exactly. Just lazily throw out an order to someone. Well,
Chop chop, I've got a water win.
Right.
Like
Being
a tanker.
sneaky
Yeah,
about it, sure.
Just like hat brim pulled quite low, low stick in one hand, and just
doing like that. Like directing flights.
Just kind of like 1 foot up against like a section of barrels.
I'll probably be hanging out with the mages, trying to discuss tactics, practicing my more combative spells that I have learnt but rarely use, and like trying to remember the incantations and stuff.
I clap Gesh on the shoulder and say, I knew once you got into the swing of things, Gesh, and you saw how valiant it was to defend this town, that you would be fully committed to the cause.
I like it here. Dorwin, you find that training with the mages for a bit, one evening you find yourself just sort of regularly in the company of Binar at the moment, just chatting through things. She is kind of, you're probably enjoying the sort of discussions that these people are having, and talking to Binar about some. You kind of, in fact, I don't know. Why don't you make an insight check just to see what you gain in general?
Nat 1.
Really?
Yeah. But the
Yeah.
quickest Nat 1 I've ever rolled.
You find you're kind of enjoying Binar's company, but you find that she's as secretive as ever. Kind of, lips locked tight, but still tells you like interesting things here and there. You find that one evening, Binar asks you to visit her in her office, basically, and assuming you run with it.
Sure.
She calls you to the office and says, Dorwin, it's good to see you. I've noticed in the training that you have a particular aptitude for picking up spells. Your gesticulations and your articulation with the spells is really rather impressive, given that you've had no formal training. I have a limited number of this of a spell scroll that I think could come in useful for the battle up ahead, and I was hoping to bestow it upon mages I know that I can trust. Time and time again, you and your party have proved invaluable. I would like to offer this to you, and she hands you the spell scroll. You looking over the arcane runes, you see that this is all in this sort of drow text, which she's clearly created this spell scroll. Not necessarily good for the spell, but and you're able to discern that it's like a binding spell.
Do I still have the Ring of Understanding?
I think
I do, right.
Yeah.
We didn't leave it with anyone.
No.
Didn't leave it with, what's his name? Regile. Cool.
I quite like the Ring of Understanding because it's kind of like just this.
Google Translate.
Yeah, it's like, and it's not like insane. It's like immediately sorts everything out. It kind of helps a bit when you've already
In
got
certain
it.
situations when you have to read something which isn't that often.
Yeah, I mean, not that I use much of it in my campaign, but I quite like this more subtle magic. It's the kind that you get in Lord of the Rings or something.
Yeah.
What does this? What do I gain from the spell scroll?
Yeah, so you
What does it look like?
you see that it seems to be based around like restricting movement and binding creatures into position, sort of thing. That's what you're able to glean from it for now.
That's very generous of you, Vinar. I'm glad you've recognised our willingness to help. Kulen Kress has certainly done a lot for us, and we all understand the significance of this impending doom. I will certainly make best use of this however I can. It seems to be something about restricting movement. What spell is it exactly?
She says, yes, your eyes are as keen as ever. She says, the spell is what's known as Earthbind. Should the spell succeed, it is capable of creatures that are blessed with the gift of flight. You will be able to bring them to the ground. And
it's the end of Skyrim.
if the true. If
Just fuck with Dragoswald.
Who's got the back cape?
Stuck in someone's hair. She says, I will be more than happy to provide you with the resources you need. You will just have to take the time that you need to solidify such a spell in your book.
Thank you. I've not my first time transcribing a spell scroll. I've had practice by now. Some the materials would be useful though. I'm not flushed with gold.
She says yes. Well, in the lead up to the battle, I'm sure that you and your party will be afforded any care required to be wholly taken care of. You needn't worry about that for now. And she says, I must tend to some of my writings here. I appreciate your company, Dorwin. Good to seeing you.
Thank you, Vinar. I shall go and practice right away.
Nice.
So can I say, like, while I'm looking at, while I'm like not doing that much, I'm just keeping a pretty good eye out for anything like suspicious that I can see. Maybe like any like dragonborn, and I'm also kind of like, you know, popping up in loads of different places of the town, kind of scoping out where is the most heavily defended or easily defensible, so I can plop myself there, and you know, just you know, if it comes to it, knowing, you know, kind of the lay of the town.
Okay, yeah. You give me an investigation and also a perception.
My perception was 17, and my investigation is 21.
Very nice. Okay. So yeah, you find there's a few fairly defensible spots. One of the most defensible spot is obviously the keep itself, the fortress.
But equally, it'd be fairly safe to assume that is the place that everyone's going to try and rush.
It would be probably fair to assume that. But along the same vein, it is heavily defended.
Okay.
It's kind of got this. It's got like a moat around it, but it's a dry moat. So it's basically a slope down, and then it's kind of almost like a walkway around the base, but vertical. So the idea is that should invaders come, and the only main access route into the building is across the bridge, the sort of slope down, any enemies there would be pretty easy to pick off, especially if you came in from the flanks and then had this massive height advantage too. You notice that a potential hole in that is that also within the moat there is an entryway into the dungeons.
Oh, you do that thing.
But the dungeons aren't like directly connected to the fort itself upwards.
Okay.
But nonetheless, it's just something you might want to be aware of.
Okay.
That there's this kind of, you know, room that descends down from the moat into this area. Across the town itself, it's most of the things that you would find defendable are there's sections of buildings that are in the more like prosperous areas of the town, like where traders are and stuff, that have been able to afford like basically stone buildings as opposed to, you know, wattle and daub and all that kind of thing, which makes it the bulk of the town.
Okay.
And in these areas, especially in the like market and crafting area, there are names for all these places. A lot of the buildings there are stone because it's like, you know, like smiths and things like that tend to be pretty profitable. I'll get up a little. Here we are. It's saying I'm offline. Go online, please. Yeah, well, I'll get back to that in a minute. Yeah, so in these areas as well, fortunately for you, there's a lot of so the area that you're interested in are Northwood and Smokegate, and then the old district makes up the kind of southern portion of the town. In these areas, there's quite a lot of like pretty nifty little alleyways.
Okay.
You can see that the sort of construction around here. This is an ancient town, and it clearly wasn't thought out super logistically. So there's lots of kind of little nooks and areas to zip around and shortcuts that you're scoping out. So I'll have that come into play with perhaps you'll be better at navigating around the town when the battle comes around. With your perception check, you are always looking around for any potential anything that's out of the ordinary. And you feel like you can't quite put your finger on it, but you feel like you keep seeing some quite small creature. It's always in the peripheral of your vision. It just seems to be slipping to different areas, and whenever you kind of like try to investigate, it always comes to nothing, even with your roguish talents, and so you're kind of not sure if it's just in your mind, if you're like
On
a bit on edge, yeah, or if it's something that's actually there because it never comes to fruition despite your investigations. So so you find I'll skip ahead to the sort of next day as you guys are going about your business. You guys are finding that the weather today is kind of pretty dreary. There's kind of this constant drizzle, and the ground's starting to get more like muddy. A lot of this town is cobbled, which is good, but mud kind of travels from the less developed areas and from outside of the city, and outside the town gates and all that kind of thing. And you found as well that last night you guys were both having pretty unpleasant dreams. Dreams about the battle and about things going poorly, and unpleasant memories, but not quite nightmares, but bordering, just an uncomfortable sleep. And when the following day comes around, you wait when you're kind of going around town and stuff. You see that this whole vibe is quite consistent throughout the town. Even just yesterday and the day before, it's quite bustling. Everyone's quite energetic, and people are already starting to seem a little bit slower.
Slower as in their actions, and just
people seem a bit like they're not pleased to be working in the weather. The thoughts of the battle are becoming a bit more reality.
Sure. So at breakfast at the tavern that we're asking, get chatting to the bartender, and I go, so how did you sleep last night?
I not brilliantly, but it's to be expected for the battle on the horizon.
I was troubled by some disturbing dreams of pain that I've not had in a long time. I was wondering if you shared similar thoughts.
A few of the people have come down and spoken about dreams of unrest. Well, luckily I'm here to provide drinks, and with that she pours a glass of some unmarked bottle, some sort of spirit, and hands you this like whiskey glass basically, and takes a look herself. Shall I say that as sort of while the day's progressing, is Polana maybe going to show up?
No.
Okay, sure.
I'm still writing at the
Okay.
moment.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to say to Dorwin, look, it's all very well practicing and training, but another week of training is not going to amount to anything tangible. I myself have trained extensively in this last week, and I feel that it might be time to set out into the wilderness and try and locate this horde that is coming. An army of this.
They're like a month and a half away.
Oh, well, they're still a month and a half away.
Well, like a month away. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought they were like 2 weeks away now.
No, they were 2 months away when you guys were in the
Fine.
mountains,
Okay.
and then you travelled for like a couple of weeks
Sure.
to get back.
All right, so a month away. Fine.
Yeah. Although when it comes to that, we can do some stuff.
Sure.
Yeah. It would also be fair to potentially assume that, given the potential scale of what Montanol has spoken about, that the battle will probably, probably won't be over in a single dark day. So there'll be an opportunity to sabotage. When you kind of come down the stairs and feeling a bit and pretty grey outside. You see that the mages, when you look out the window, you see there's still mages that are kind of working day and night, providing magical fortifications on the walls. You're sort of thinking, another day of that.
Yeah. And
Sore
I've
hands.
I've had the entire glass of this spirit, and I'm feeling, quite jolly. And I'm going like, Dorwin, good to see you. What say we have some fun? Try and inject some positivity into this town before the battle.
Yes, we are certainly low on positivity, it seems. Although I'm supposed to be helping with the fortifications.
Nah, mate, you're too important to be doing the mundane mage's jobs, and you know it. I reckon what this town needs is a good old morale boost. It'll do wonders.
Yes, I expect you're right. What do you have in mind?
Well, I'm sure I don't know. I've always been a more of the promoter, and my expression darkens slightly as I remember Tide and the stories that we had together, and I say I'm sure you've got a couple of fancy tricks hidden up those deep sleeves of yours.
Yes, I can be pretty tricky. I'm sure we could come up with something.
Idix says, I'll be happy to sing a song. Should get the troops in.
Aye, I think that might be a good idea. And my devious little brain is thinking about how I can spin coin from the mountain. So today I'm maybe setting up a little morale thing, but sort of I'm going to continue to kind of look for any of these kind of like infiltrators or just people that I haven't seen before and stuff like that. Just keeping an eye out for them.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, sure. So let's start with we'll do both at the same time. So why don't the two of you both give me persuasions?
4.
Sure.
Let me just add my thing to it. Oof, 22.
Nice. Okay. So Enoch, you kind of are walking around the street. Dorwin's kind of like with you, and you're kind of going up to groups of soldiers who are, don't seem to be really doing a lot right now, and saying, Idex is offering up a couple of free drinks and a song if you want to come down, and all that kind of thing.
Step right up.
There you go. And you see, as you are, Dorwin's maybe kind of a bit meek, not really adding much, like, come on.
I would subtly nudge him and like just maybe telepathically say to him like, "Oi, mate, give us some spark or something."
I'll prestidigitation some like fanfare trumpets quietly behind me, and like
nice.
some smoke like billows out from under his cape.
You see he does that, but it's like a bit weak.
Or a little bit like off key.
Enoch is gonna make it seem like he is like not walking and like floating on the smoke.
Sure. Give me a deception.
A deception?
Yeah, just see what it's like.
22.
22, nice. Oh, that my
Wow, he's floating.
Wasting all the rolls pre-battle.
Yeah. Well, I've got a 1 and a 4, so.
Enoch's going down.
Never
surrender.
Enoch is eternal.
Enoch is love. Enoch is life.
This is probably enough dice. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Nice. Yeah. So you're able to rally a decent chunk of people and get them in the inn, and while they're there, Idex, begins like just kind of getting into the flow of her songs, and you see that she's a stoic old dwarf and is pretty chipper as she's like humming along and like singing as she's like pouring drinks and things. Maybe you're helping out behind the bar a bit, trying to help people up and
I think for once Enoch is going to play some cards with some groups and actually intentionally lose about 50 gold to to some of the soldiers, and maybe play the sort of court jester, like oh, I can't believe my luck.
Yeah. You see that as you're doing that, people are people who maybe some of them. Some of the locals and things who might have a bit of a reservation about, who maybe haven't come across city goblins so much, are initially reserved, but then after winning some gold, they're kind of like chuckling along and like finding it fun and things, and they're kind of injecting a bit of joy into the tavern. Nice. I'll say that you've done well there, guys. Do you want to give me a perception?
Yep.
Just Enoch.
And I mean, have you said? Would you have mentioned anything at this point about your worries, or are you in your own head about it at the moment?
I think I'm not sure, and I'm quite conscious of of putting on like a brave face. So,
and you probably don't want to give other people like a bit of anxiety if you're like, oh, by the way, there's.
It wouldn't really be towards that. It would just be more towards like presenting, maintaining my sort of mirage of being like this, cool tough guy.
Yeah, sure.
It's not secretly terrified.
Mm-hmm.
15.
Okay. You find. You don't really see anything today that confirms your suspicions, which is quite relieving. Yeah.
Less relieving that it was quite a low roll.
No metagaming. Nice. Okay. Nice. Yeah. Is there anything either of you would be able to do today? Is there anything going on really? Other than that, you could spend a good chunk.
I might also go to the Adventurers Guild and maybe have a scope round. Is there like, looking in the Adventurers Guild, is there like an armory or like like a weapons sort of cache?
So the Adventurers Guild is a little bit more bureaucratic than that.
Okay.
You see that there's a couple of dotted around this room. There's these various what are they called? I've got tabards in my head, but you wear tabards. What other things that go on walls?
Tapestries?
Yeah. I'm thinking of like a specific.
Oh, like a herald, like a cloth herald.
Yeah. There's these heralds that are sort of pinned up around the walls
with the crest of Eastbourne on them.
All of them actually have different like varying crests.
Okay.
They all seem to belong to different folk. You see that there's a couple of people milling around.
And can I just ask, do they have different crests because the Adventurers Guild is more of like a independent thing, or is it still, the Adventurers Guild is still kind of assigned, kind of under the like privy of Eastbourne Province?
So it's basically, what you would, you would know a bit about the Adventurers Guild already.
Yeah, but this is just.
So I'll explain what you know. The Adventurers Guild, these buildings are normally spots for adventuring parties to come together. They're a bit like community spaces where they'll discuss stories and rumours, and there'll be like notice boards of jobs around as well, paying for various things. At the moment, it's fairly empty, just because anybody who's visiting Kulen Kress at the moment, who are adventurers or mercenaries, are kind of in the thick of it, really.
Yeah, sure.
Helping out and doing bits and bobs, and probably getting a bit of coin in their pockets from local captains and things like that. But there are a couple of people in here. You see that there's a
Point of Crest in here.
No. Boris Kress isn't. He wouldn't have a lot to do with the Adventurers Guild, really. He's a lot more town-based. The Adventuring Guild, so the Adventuring Guilds will be very much in contact with other Adventuring Guilds in the same kingdom, but they are kind of independent bodies as well. It will be like, an adventuring party would come into a town and be like, "Ooh, there's no adventuring guild here. I'm here a lot. I'll set one up and increase the network." And they will communicate with adventuring guilds in other provinces too. But yeah, it's that kind of situation.
Sure.
And each one will probably have a certain fairly standard set of rules and things like that.
Sure. Enoch might have seen some of the, adventurers getting some coin and is maybe interested in, just highlighting the fact that, we have warned everyone and,
Oh, I see. Yeah, like letting them know who you are, kind of thing.
Yeah, just like I'm fucking big deal.
Yeah. And are you guys? So would you guys kind of be at the moment? Would you guys be Are we happy as being recognised as Tomb Breakers? Is that the thing?
Yeah, I don't have the name, but
I'm not a fan of the name.
Sure. Well,
For now.
the
We
obsidian
change
smile.
change what you can change what it is later though.
sure. So, it's the redacted. Yeah, I need to come up with something good. I wonder if there's like
Just checking your gun.
I just had it open. I thought I was meant to go to my money one, but I was like, oops.
What percentage are you at?
67 total progress, 60% gold guns on the way to platinum,
Nice.
but that's including the other 3.
Nice.
I've just clicked on a adventuring group name generator, and there's like a big list of like randomly generated ones, and the first one is Big B Band.
I actually prefer that to Tomb Breakers, to be honed.
But can it
Slippery
be
100 of Rosstown.
can it be Big D Band, please?
Troop of the Burnt Camels. The Magnificent Association. These are great. Yeah. How's your thing going?
Yeah, so I've like basically just written a little thing for when I come back, but it's probably not going to be for a while.
Well, do you want to come and play the game? I'm trying to progress the stuff,
Yeah, no, I know, but like she's doing her own shit.
Okay, so should I maybe do like a bit of a time skip?
If you want to,
Is
there more stuff that we need to like? I'm happy to just
There's things that are like it works thematically for me.
I think I might. Sorry, if you want to, but I think I might just check out the dungeon. My palms have been itching about this. Is there any like nefarious people that might become problematic later on? I've just
That's a good idea.
just because obviously if someone infiltrates and then there's
Or
a
somebody
breakout behind our lines and stuff, that could really fuck us.
Yeah.
So I might just my palms are itching, and that's normally a sign that my subconscious is telling me something that my forebrain hasn't quite worked out yet.
Yeah.
And normally that thing is I'm in danger, and so it's quite a handy thing to have.
No, that's a good idea.
And you're probably very aware of subterfuge methods.
There might even be somebody we could get to help us.
Come on now. Well, normally I'm all for giving people second chances, but in this particular situation, you're not here.
I might go and ask a mage about how battles work
Sure.
as a mage.
Yeah, nice. All right.
That's
Sure. Shall I do that first? Get a bit of Enoch time. We'll do
Sure.
some Dorwin time.
sure.
Cool. All right.
I just want to find a slightly big dog looking mage who seems to be telling other mages what to do, and
Yeah, sure.
obviously I've probably been listening, but just want to
Yeah. Okay. So
clarify some stuff.
The thing is you've probably been hanging out mostly with the more academic mages, just in general, learning a bit more magic-y stuff in general, bolstering defenses and that kind of thing. But you have noticed around that there is this what appears to be like a group of these more heavily armoured. They're wearing plate armour, and they've got these crests of Eastbourne on them. They're not from Kulen Kress.
Yeah.
A lot of them are carrying staffs and other focuses. You've seen them around. There's only a couple of them about. But you see this one person. He's a human. He's got this pretty baller-looking armor. He's in the full Eastbourne Reds, and he looks maybe about 40. He's got blonde hair, this like short blonde hair, and like a shortish sort of stubbly beard, a bit like Will's really. It's also blonde.
So he looks sick.
He's quite a handsome chap, but he's also
More like
but he's got a sternness about him, which is almost like uncharacteristically old of him. But he seems to be the guy.
Sure.
You notice as well he's got this like heavily armoured steel plate spell book, which is in like thick chains, which is kind of looped around his armour.
Sure.
That's cool.
And he's kind of he'll occasionally like, you see that when he's ordering people around, he doesn't like bark orders, but when he talks, there is like a magnificence about it. It's very commanding.
Sure.
Sick.
Seems like the guy. Yeah, I'd like to watch him for a bit, wait until he has stopped giving orders for a mow, and approach.
Sure. As you approach, you see that initially he doesn't really seem to notice you. I mean, do you want to like say something first?
Sure, I'll probably muster up some courage and say, hello.
Yes. What can I do for you?
Well, my name's Dorwin. I'm a mage myself, and I noticed you are also a mage, and I know some good attacking type spells. However, I have never really used them in a battle on this sort of scale. Judging by the looks of you, it seems you might have, and I was wondering if maybe you could just explain to me how exactly a battle like this would work with mages involved. I've never fought alongside another mage, only against.
How long have you been practicing magic?
Well, on and off, probably 40 years or so.
Oh, I see. And you're not the most confident fellow. I'm rather preoccupied at the moment, but what is your role here? What are you doing here?
Well, I've been asked to help with the defences, use what spells I can to bolster our fortifications and fight if it comes to it.
With this, he...
So different. I love how you don't even mention that, like, I fucking, like, warned everyone.
Yeah, I know.
So different. I really don't wish to go out, fuck you, on best.
You see that he upon hearing you saying that, like, you're here to fight, you see that his at the moment he's kind of stood, like, with his side to you, but, like, looking down at you, and he kind of turns and you see he adopts a slight smirk and says, well, willing to fight. That's what I like to hear. If you're wanting to learn more about the nature of the
Prick.
of how a battle of this scale might operate, I'll be hosting a seminar later. I suggest you attend.
Oh, perfect. Yes, I'll definitely be there.
Very well. For now, did you ask your name?
I said hi, I'm Dorwin at the start.
Sure. He said, I'm Mage Captain Heinrich. For now, if you're willing to lend a hand, I suggest you go and help Johan over there. And he points over to this mage who's kind of using this telekinetic spell. He's a heavily armored mage to kind of adjust any bits of, like, just like crates and barrels and things, just creating these defenses around as people are bolstering up.
Sure.
You see that one of the as he's messing around with one of them, he kind of like crushes one of the crates with this telekinesis, and you see him like trying to form something, and Henrik says, yes, you can see he struggles sometimes and just like waves his hand at it, and the crate just kind of like forms into like sort of transmutes into like one of those spike defenses.
Palisades. Is that what they're called?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh no, Palisades. Close enough. Sure. Yes, I'll go and I'll go give him a hand.
He says, by the way, if you're going to be taking part in the battle, I see you're adorned much the same as many of the other mages. I suggest you learn how to don yourself in a good suit of armour. It's really a necessity if you are to be fighting.
And would I have to buy this?
So it's no consequence of mine how would you come across it. However, it takes a good deal of practice to learn how to cast spells in heavy plate. But nonetheless, it saved my life countless times.
Okay, I'll go and investigate.
So you go off and help out this chap with some of his incantations.
Sure.
Shall we take Enoch to the dungeon?
Sure.
Okay, so
Yeah, please.
Yes, please. You make your way over. You kind of there is like this path down to the moat. You kind of like skirt down the side and like make your way into this area. As you begin to make your way in, one of the guards just says, "Halt! What business do you have in the dungeon?"
And I puff myself up to all of my 4'3", and I say, "Have you not heard? Have you not heard that the Tomb Breakers have come to warn Kulen Kress of your imminent destruction, and have kindly offered to provide assistance to this town?"
As you say that, he says, "Foolish of me, you must be Enoch."
Aye, that is I, and I take off my blue hat with my plume of feathers in it and just really exaggeratedly doff it and bow to him.
He says, "While I have the utmost respect for what you have done for this town, but nonetheless I must accompany you to the dungeon."
So be it. It saves me having to break open that door myself, and I give him a wink.
You see he kind of like smiles regretfully, being like, "Ooh, shit." And as he's walking down, he just calls out to one of the other guards to take watch, basically. Heading down to the dungeon, it's a fairly wide passage, but pretty, purposefully, as all dungeons are, pretty grotty. They purposefully don't maintain these areas to make them as uninviting as possible and intimidating. You see that torches are spread apart just enough so that you go through these patches of darkness as you kind of weave your way down a few stairs, which Electu was dragged down some time ago. And when you get to the dungeon, you see that it's there's these the main like room itself. There's other subsections of dungeons which would be used to lock up more fearsome prisoners, but you can't hear anything from them really. So.
Sure.
But yeah, the main dungeon has kind of got these cages which are all linked to each other in this square room with quite a low ceiling.
I kick one of the kind of the metal kind of like not portcullises, but like the metal bars, so they rattle. Absent-mindedly, I say to the guard. So what selection of Kulen Kress's finest do we have down here?
As well, it's mostly pickpockets and sneak thieves who have attempted to take advantage of the ensuing chaos.
The crime of getting caught.
You see, he kind of like narrows his eyes.
Just like unlocks one of them.
You see that a couple of the cages are fairly busy with people who are pretty low-life criminals, and as you're looking through the cages, there's one fellow who's holding himself quite stoically, a dragonborn chap, who's still in these leather
Montanor,
armor.
what have you done?
Instantly becomes a red smile.
I forgot the rules. Not in the cave.
You see, he's very large. He's an absolute mountain of a guy. He's got this kind of like raggedy leather armor on, and he's just stood in a cell with no one else, and he's just got his arms crossed, and he's just kind of staring. You see, he's got he's a red dragonborn, and he's this very dark sort of blood red. But you see little glistens of white fangs poking out from his lips. Another individual in the dungeon who catches your eye is a person who looks like a sorry little sod, but he is wearing these priestly vestments, and he's got a bald head, and you see that he's got this blue ink basically trailing down his face.
So it looks like he's crying.
Yeah, but it's like as in it looks as though it's designed like
Yeah.
that.
Is it like actual teardrops or like actual just like a more
smear.
like a smear?
Yeah. And you see that this smear that's sort of, I'm not sure if it's tattooed on his face or what, but it very much extends down to his white robes as this bluish, blacky water is like all the way down his vestments. And you see he's kind of like huddled up. He looks quite emaciated and sad.
Okay. Oh, hello, bud. So I say I wander over to first the maid, the guy that's crying, and I say, Father, got to admit, not often we come across your kind down here. Tell me, how does one stray so far from religion's guiding light? I say, like tongue in cheek. Basically, I'm trying to throw off the Dragonborn to make him think I'm a moron.
Sure.
But like keeping like a half eye on him to see if he's like watching me.
I'm listening. Go on.
Yeah. He's so cute, isn't he?
Yummy.
I'm really thinking I could eat that now.
Probably.
Yeah, sometimes he does have a bite of the nose, but not often.
A nibble.
Yeah, so you say to this person, he says, baseless, treacherous claims. I do not belong here. I should be with the High Priestess, not locked up like this.
And forgive me, I'm not inclined to be religious, although I am familiar with unfounded claims and accusations against good men.
As you say this, the guard says, he just like kind of like pulls you to one side and just says that kind of like in a hushed tone, angry tone. What are you doing?
Let's call this a fishing trip.
Says,
I wouldn't expect someone like you to understand.
do not be up to any mischief, I trust.
Yes, I have fabricated an army descending on Kulen Kress to destroy it, specifically for the purpose of breaking out a thief.
You see, he kind of like, for a second, he's like, what? And he's like, ugh. And he just kind of like takes a step back, and you see you leaving a sort of rather bad taste in this guard's mouth.
Fucking.
Yeah.
And I turn to the guard and say, so what did this one do?
Dickhead. He says,
He wants to be over there.
he says, oh, have you not heard? This here is Leon Prynn. He's been arrested on account of attempting to smear and besmirch the name of Vinar.
Oh, we know him.
Yeah.
We did.
Oh, we would know him.
I did. Found that interesting. And I say, Vinar, that's the.
It's the High Mage.
the spider that Dorwin's been hanging around. Yeah, well, that checks out. And I...
Just out of interest, it's interesting. Why did you call her a spider?
She's a drow.
Oh, cool. That's cool. Yeah, yeah, nice. I like it.
And I say, and I gesture towards the dragonborn and say, that's a bit of a brute over there. Bet he took more than a few of you with him catching him.
Yes, he was caught attacking supply caravans coming into Kulen Kress.
Was he now?
He's credit where credit is due. His fighting capabilities are close to unmatched. He was attacking them entirely by himself, taking down entire groups of caravan guards. He doesn't speak a lick of common.
Yeah, well, I've sometimes found that silence is the best defense when you're banged dead to rights.
Yes. Well, unfortunately, his court proceedings are all having to be undertaken in Dragonborn, which makes it difficult for the jury. I don't doubt either way his head will roll.
What are we waiting for? And I say, And are we sure that that this was not an attack designed by the Dragonborn horde about to descend on us, designed to interrupt our logistics and our supply train of weapons and defences?
It's more than possible. That's what we're trying to figure out. The only issue is that he doesn't seem to... Well, he doesn't match any of the rumours we've heard about the cult.
And what rumours are these?
But they're intelligent folk, mages, the like.
Every army needs its share of brutes to do the legwork.
Yes, well, if you speak any Dragonborn, feel free to try and get something out of him.
Not a lick, mate. That's old Gesh's department. We might be returning here to conduct some friendly conversations, and I take out like 2 gold pieces and flick it his way. Much obliged. You've been more than cooperative. Any miscreants in the deeper dungeons?
Not at the moment, although I'm surprised we didn't lock this one up. He's quite fearsome. I don't know what they could be saving him for.
Do Dragonsborn speak Draconic, or is Dragonborn a different language?
Dragonborn's a different language. Some Dragonborn will speak Draconic.
Okay.
Yeah.
My thoughts exactly. Perhaps it would be prudent to move this gentleman to a more secure vault, given the potential risk he poses to Kulen Kress. Would you be able to see that through for me?
There's perhaps we would have to enact the aid of the mages for this one. He has the strength of 10 men.
Unarmed?
Well, a dagger on the back certainly does something, but I can't risk the lives of my men just simply to escort a prisoner.
Isn't that your job?
Where do you want to take him?
Like just deeper into the dungeons to a more secure vault
Okay.
for maximum security kind of thing.
Might be worth trying to turn him.
I don't speak Dragonborn.
Good guess.
Yeah,
Yeah. Right.
I've said, but in the meantime,
Yeah.
a bit
He says, well. He says, yes, while it is our job, it's also my job to keep my men safe. I'm sure he'll be moved in due course. For the time being, getting him in here was the best we could do.
I see. Well, if he really is that formidable an opponent, it seems likely that he's had professional military training of some sort, making the potential risk to Kulen Kress even more apparent, and therefore this job of a higher priority. I will return with my colleague and
Yeah,
acquaintance.
My suspicion is that he's a native of the Scales, although why he was down here, well, it begs questions.
Seems awfully convenient.
I agree. Shall we go back to you? In this
Yeah. You ready for your seminar you're about to give me?
I'll maybe give Fletcher around the edges of a little bit.
I'm expecting 60 minutes.
So you see that he in this in basically just one of the abandoned houses that's been offered up for lodging for soldiers. He's kind of there's this little room basically, and a couple of mages are sat around like chatting and things. And you see that Mage Captain Henrik kind of takes the floor, and the second he walks in, he just kind of commands this silence without really having to say anything. And I think I'll maybe just tell you what he says.
Yeah.
Role player.
Try it. Yeah.
And if you, I'll say I'll go through it, and then maybe afterwards, if you've got questions and stuff, we'll role play that. He essentially explains that explains to you that mages are in modern battles are the essential pieces that actually allow battles to progress, because what he explains is he explains it's kind of like almost like the nuclear deterrence kind of argument of, if there's one side with mages, the other side is fucked. Whereas if you've both got mages, it's kind of like more, it means that more regular battle can take place, and then mages will input where they can. It's very much for the mages, it's a very intellectually draining process, because they have to have real shit-hot battle awareness. They really need to be looking for opportunities where they can strike. And a lot of the time, enemy mages, which would be warding or protecting groups and squads, their defences will normally be so tight that keeping an eye on what the mages are doing is like essential to being able to take them down. But at the same time, if they're doing that while also commanding their own mages and potentially commanding a battalion of regular troops too, they run the risk of getting attacked from just the ground troops as well, if they're just focusing solely on the mage.
Sure.
A lot of the time, he explains that honor is kind of different for mages in battle as well. He encourages the mages to use any tricks they have in their books to keep themselves hidden and not draw attention to themselves, because the second that the enemies are aware of where they are, they're the prime target.
Yeah.
So it's not a matter of, he explains that where a champion or a king or a captain might want to lead their troops and be like the rallying voice that kind of brings a force forward, the mages are very much trying to keep themselves inconspicuous.
So I think Doran's plan was pretty much that.
Yeah, perfect. I'm already a brilliant battle.
He explains as well that most of the it's pretty uncommon for mages in his squadrons to really do anything other than evocation, but he regales the group with a couple of stories of particularly famous mage captains who have been scholars of other schools who have managed to do pretty amazing things. He says transmutation's powerful. He says it's always good to have abjurers around to protect everyone. But mostly their intent is to cause as much destruction as possible, which is why evocation normally comes out on top.
Yeah.
He encourages the use of fire and ice storms, calling down lightning, that kind of thing, but at the same time talks about how some mages have managed to open up small portals to suck other groups through. Throughout a lot of wizarding, there's a lot of some of the more advanced mages as well. He says that he's working on his, but it's not really usable yet. But these advanced mages will often come, will spend years and years and decades even preparing their ultimate spell to utilize in a battle. And he says he's in process of making his, but whenever he talks about it, you see that this is when he a lot of his stern character breaks, and he kind of gets more excited and intrigued. Yeah.
Does he say what it is? What his
No,
way
he
is?
doesn't want to
Reveal
anyway.
it. Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, it's kind of like for a mage, it's a bit like an organisation creating it, like in today, having like some really advanced tech or something.
Right.
They
Yeah.
want to say what it does.
Yeah. That's cool.
And is that because it would be on a spell? I wouldn't really know. Just my interest.
Oh,
Is that
yeah,
'cause it would
it
be on a
was-
spell scroll. So like someone could nick it, or
Or they could like prepare defences against it and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's like kind of all of the above. Like even if they were to say, you know, oh, it's it like calls down fire or something.
yeah.
They would then might be like, you know, somebody could prepare defense against it, or somebody might say, oh, I don't know, fire's a stupid one, but like say it's something a bit more like weird, like, you know, it's like a combination of like a wide array of different natural elements.
Yeah.
Then somebody might be like, oh, I didn't even know that was possible, kind of thing. And then begin researching it themselves.
Yeah.
Take claims or whatever.
Sure.
But yeah.
And mages are quite jealous of their spells, are they?
Oh, very much so.
Yeah.
That's why it was like quite weird at Clockager that everyone was so open with it.
Yeah, fine.
But that's very much like that's the ethos of that place.
Sure.
But that's rare.
You should go back to that place.
Yeah.
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 But yeah, is there anything going? What maybe afterwards, once the room's dissipated a little bit, is there anything you want to talk about directly?
Yeah. Maybe just about the specific tactics of the Eastbourne army, in that how are the mages distributed amongst the troops? Is someone responsible for like a specific legion, or do they sort of help whoever's closest?
Yes. So the way Eastbourne tends to operate is our soldiers are trained intensely. Being a superpower of this world, the resources are plentiful. As such, mages are typically protected behind vast shield walls. It is typical of Eastbourne battalions to have what we call dummy protectors. In these groups, there will be other similarly defended areas to distract attention, and sometimes we'll even have individuals dress and act as mages, as bait, to draw attention away from the primary spellcaster.
Interesting.
Sucks to be
And
that guy.
how and how do mages deal with the range limitations on their spells? You said they like to keep out of sight and in safety, but surely they have to be close enough to the battle to make some effect.
Yes, the way that I personally like to operate is through covert mobility. I am quite adept at navigating my way around the battlefield before the enemy has even detected my presence. In doing so, I'm able to deliver crushing blows. But otherwise, it is typical of armies that are making the use of mages to still, both mages will want to be in close enough range to cast their desired effects. Of course, there are certain enhancements which want to do to their spells to increase the ranges. However, this is quite rare and challenging to do. If you ever have the pleasure of meeting a sorcerer, you'll see that they're quite capable of these things.
Yes, I was looking at that feat.
He says, I don't like to admit it, but sorcerers really can carry their own in these conflicts.
Okay. Yeah. Wow. Yes. Thank you for the wise words. This will be very useful, I'm sure. Luckily, I have had some practice in some of these tactics you've talked about simply by chance or trial and error. So I'm feeling hopeful.
As a deep gnome, I'm sure you're not unfamiliar with spending your time in dark caverns and whatnot.
Yes, that's probably where I feel most at home, in fact.
I may have a task for you, but I should first speak to Kulen Kress. How well, he said, he'll probably say Captain Kress here. He says, How long have you spent in Kulen Kress?
I think a few weeks in total, maybe a month or two.
And why is it exactly that you have so much interest in the battle tactics?
Simply so that I can be as effective as I can be and honestly save my skin.
Very well. You're dismissed.
Goodbye.
So I'll do like an awkward bow.
I do like a curtsy. I'm like, oh fuck.
Okay, nice. You'd say so. You find that that was kind of in the middle of the afternoon. That whole thing. You find that a little bit later, your Mage Captain Henrik approaches you and says, "Dorwin."
Yes, Captain.
He says, "You did not tell me about your prestige."
I wasn't truly aware.
This was foolish of you. He says, I had spoken to Captain Kress, and well, he filled me in.
And I loved it.
He says, meet me, walk with me, and he takes you off to Kress's office.
Allow me to fill you in.
You're a picking old man. He says, and he kind of like sits you down in this one area. He says, now I was hesitant to discuss this with you initially, but hearing about everything you've done thus far, I am sure you are to be trusted. We are running a sort of covert operations throughout Kulen Kress at the moment. I'm going to request your utmost secrecy.
I have kept many a secret.
He says, we are wary that the creatures that will fall upon this town, many of them will be capable of alternate means of transportation, mostly the ability to burrow, which is something that is hard to defend against even magically. We currently have mages digging out networks of tunnels throughout the potential battlefield and hotspots where we think we're likely to be attacked. These tunnels will be are valuable spaces for us. We will be able to cast spells from beneath the ground through a network of communication through the use of sending stones. I suggest you rally with these troops and learn the way around these tunnels. Perhaps dig some of your own. Get yourself into hotspot locations so you can be maximally effective.
Well, that is surprising, but it makes a lot of sense. Had I known, I would have volunteered myself. I've spent a lot of time underground and had a lot of practice digging tunnels of my own. I'd be happy to help, and maybe I can ask some of the mages there about where I would be best placed to set up an ambush.
He says, I should warn you that with this network of tunnels, should any of the beasts try to descend from beneath the town, well, due to the covert nature of this operation, you'll be down there completely alone. You'll have contact, but should an overwhelming force descend upon you, well, there's not much anyone will be able to do.
Well, there'll be a lot I can do. I wouldn't worry about that.
I expect nothing less. Very well. He kind of like goes into this desk and he pulls out these like scribed, this like massive pile of scribed papers basically, and like scrolls. He says, I've looked over these many times. I am deeply familiar with them. I suggest you do the same.
What are they?
These are the details of our operation. You must not let these fall into anyone else's hands. We don't know what could be in the town already.
Very well. I shall log them to memory. What's it called when you put something into memory? I shall scribe it to memory. I'll Yeah,
It's like
we'll say log.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
There's a word.
Yeah.
I shall log them to memory.
Commit.
Commit to memory. I shall commit these to memory, and bring them back post haste.
If I do a couple of days skip, do you want to get involved?
Sure.
Fucking loser.
No, I'm fine.
Yeah, oh yeah, let's talk about DD. I'm not here. Okay, cool. So I'll say that over the next few days, or how much time should elapse?
I don't know. What yeah,
A week?
maybe, yeah, whatever. Yeah. Because where were we at the time? Well, I was fucking miles away, right? It would have taken me weeks to get to Kulen Kress.
Yeah, but it's Oh yeah, true. Yeah. Because you didn't teleport.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it took them about a week to get to Clockager, and they were teleported. So you'd be. So and it takes 2 weeks to get there. So you could arrive by now ish.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll do that like a week and a half.
Sure.
So maybe half a week of some stuff, and then a week of travel. Yeah.
Do you want to roleplay Gesh for the dungeon, or should we leave that for Alan?
Let's leave that for Alan,
yeah. So you guys have found that over these next few days, the weather has been getting kind of a bit worse. It's been getting quite cold.
Sorry.
Is it unseasonably cold?
A little bit. I mean, we are coming into autumn, which is the time when they're closer to an afflicts to attack. Yeah, sure.
That's something important. I'm not going to say here down there actually.
Sure. Watch the stream.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is a bit unseasonable. Unseasonable.
Unseasonable.
Yeah. And it's a bit amiss. You find that for a lot of the people as well, people have been talking more and more about having more uncomfortable night's sleep. It's definitely getting to a point where it's people were suspicious from the get-go really, but it's now getting more and more clear that something's afoot. It's not right, basically. And the mages are talking about a potential. Some potential effects.
Yeah.
I'll wait for Dawn to get back to the next bit.
I have actually a quick question while he's away. So can my steeds now be this?
Oh, yes. They're considered kind of evil in their film, but it could be.
Okay. Can mine not be evil? As in, because mine's just a steed, right? It's not. It doesn't actually have the powers of that thing.
Oh, I've got a little idea. Maybe. This is my thing now, because you can make it however you want.
Well, yeah, that's what I mean.
Yes.
Yeah.
I see. Yeah, that totally can be.
Yeah. Because I'm just summoning it.
I thought you were saying could it have always been?
No.
Oh no, could it change? Yeah, that's dope. Yeah, I love that.
And it'll probably for the other ones as well, for my other.
Oh yeah.
Then I'll have something else as well that fits that. Yeah.
I'm guessing all the magic weapon abilities still properly apply, right? Modify the visuals of them a bit or something.
What do you mean? Oh, was it my shield?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was right. A whole new thing.
You did different spells, didn't you?
As in for each.
For the shield, yeah.
But then I didn't want to have to redo them all if there was a dramatic change or anything like that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay, sweet. Yeah. Okay, so on one of the days, do you want to take it away a bit? Or?
Yeah, sure. So, where are we? What are people doing?
Okay, so we'll say that.
Is everyone up?
This is going to knock the pole off. So as you've been travelling down, so people will have been reporting this in the city as well, but you see it from far away, that there's quite a distinctly different area of weather as you're approaching this town. This is probably the first town you've come across as well as you've been travelling around. So you see it in the distance, but you also see kind of unpleasant weather, which looks quite localized. And as you approach, you kind of get to the gates, and you see there's a lot of the guards are quite skittish, and they're sort of like they come forward as you approach, and they say hold it right there. You're about 30 meters away.
Mm-hmm.
And they kind of shout over, what business do you have entering the city? It's locked down.
I come to the city's aid. I am a companion of the Tombbreakers, or the better name.
Well, yeah, we'll just roll with it for now, I guess.
Sure.
They say, well, I've not heard of you. Who are you?
My name is Polana Emerald. I am a new companion. I have not been travelling with them long, but the plan was for me to meet them here.
You may approach somewhat, but please, lay down your weapons for now. They will be safely returned to you.
Can I, do a fucking thingy check?
Like a persuasion or something?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so what do you want? Yeah, do it, see the result, and then based on the result, say something.
Okay. Sorry, the dice are really slow. 18.
Okay.
Please, I mean you no harm. I'm here to see my companions, and I'm here to help with the defense of the city, of the town.
You say, very well. I can understand why you may be hesitant to relinquish your weapons. Just wait there, if you will. And you see they go away, and after about 20 minutes or so, maybe one of them approaches one of the other members of the party and says something.
Mm-hmm.
He comes forward and says, very well. You have clearance to approach.
Cool.
And yeah, so you enter this town. You see it's kind of like there's these walls all around it. I mean, you see like buildings and walls and stuff, but these are quite different.
Yeah.
They're quite they're like much less elegant than what you're used to. They look like just things that are like functional, you know. They stuff that like does the job.
Yeah.
And it's kind of up to you as you role playing Polana whether you find that kind of thing like aesthetically attractive or not, or whether you're like a bit weirded out. It's kind of up to you, you know.
I think at the moment I'm pretty I'm not really taking in shit around me. I'm kind of just pretty fucking resolute on my purpose. I need to gather the group and talk to them.
Sure. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. So yeah, you enter the town and you see that you're kind of drawing a lot of attention as you stroll in on this beast.
Mm-hmm.
And what is your look at the moment?
Yeah. So basically, what you guys have seen. This was how you guys would have seen me before, Jamie.
Yeah.
But now I come in. Everything that's green has kind of gone to this bright golden yellow.
Okay.
My hair has changed, my skin's changed, my eyes, and I look more like this. I'm a little bit taller, very much more kind of carry myself with more purpose.
Okay.
I'm less before I was a bit just flamboyant and free and fun, and whereas now I'm pretty
Super Saiyan.
yeah. And also I am, where before I was on the Golden Stag, I am now striding atop a 6-legged panther thing with tentacles.
It's Avatar.
Yeah.
Nice.
Sick.
Yeah. So
Scary.
as she comes in, I'll say that as you're kind of maybe door when you kind of spot her first and come over and say something, and then meanwhile spots too, and after a while we greet together. I'll say Gesh and read you around. Maybe you're just sort of in the centre of town at the moment. Yeah. So yeah. What are your actions and what do you say?
So I kind of everyone's in front of me, and I kind of say, my friends, I must apologise for my absence. I had some things to ponder, and then kind of more to myself, kind of look down, and I'm like, it seems my life was somewhat of a lie. But I return to you now more resolute than ever. I lay my shield down on the floor in front of me, and I kneel next to it, and I place my hand on the shield, and I say, I swear in the name of my house, Emerald, and on my honour as a Green Knight to work to rid these lands of evil, until either the material planes stand as a utopia, or I draw my last breath. I stand and I have my sword and my shield, and I kind of stare each of you in the eyes. And I say, I would ask for your help as my companions in this matter, but I will take this crusade on alone if I must. Come, walk me through the battle plan, for my quest starts with crushing the enemies that advance towards us now, for they do not know it, but they march towards their doom.
Hell yeah. Quiet applause. Sick. I'll be with you every step of the way. Feeling pretty inspired.
Yeah, this for you guys after this last week of unpleasant dreams, miserable weather, knowing something's fucking with the city, it's kind of getting in your head as well. It's all a bit of a head fuck. This is kind of like a bit of like a bit of a golden kick up the arse, yeah.
And
marvelous.
I say, Polana, it's damn good to see you again. And rest assured, you have my sword by your side wherever your quest may take you. I say, you look invigorated and different since last we met. Is there a reason for this transformation?
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if I want to kind of reveal everything at the moment. So I'll say,
You could talk about the nature of editing, maybe just in general.
oh yeah, we Eladrin have 4 different states for which we can choose to appear, one for each of the seasons. Before you saw me in my spring state, but now I stand in my summer state. I have been struggling with some personal quandaries ever since leaving the caverns, and this state now much more fits my purpose and my goals.
Well, you seem revitalized and reborn in this new state. I can only wish that it, with this newfound peace that you've sought out and acquired, comes strength of purpose and true strength on the battlefield.
Almost certainly.
Yeah, I figured.
Oh yeah, nice, good one play. So I'll say that it's once you've walked around and they filled you in with what's going on, you've met with some of the other members and things like that. At one point, you see you guys get a messenger come and say that Binar's requesting a meeting.
Could I do a perception and investigation roll to
I
see?
think like for the past week kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, do like 2 of each, and we'll just
Two
see
of
what they're like. Yeah.
What for, sorry?
He's been like seeing shit around.
Yeah, the little squishy monster.
Yeah.
You sure it's not just Orwin?
He's suspect.
What is this? I've just got like blur and mirror image. We're being infested.
I got a 17 was my highest investigation, and I got a 19, but I can add to it if you want for my perception.
And what were the other rolls? I'm not including them.
17 and 17.
Oh, okay, so we're pretty high then. Yeah, okay, so I would say with that, you are...
Do you want me to add to them? Because I can add to all of those.
I mean, you might as well, right? It restores
Yeah.
after a bit, and
After a long rest, which
Yeah.
I'm going to have, we're not in
I'm sure you will have been, given you're like a bit sass at the moment.
roll 4d8s. So
What would you say the total of that?
12.
12, okay, so pretty like bang average of addition on, basically. Yeah, okay, so yeah, with all of that, you kind of, as this sort of town-wide sort of semi-depression has been laying down on the town, it's caused you to be a little bit more aware and anxious of potential mishaps. And in doing so, you've occasionally found yourself like you often don't really catch yourself doing it until you've done it, but you'll like dash down an alleyway in pursuit of something, and a couple of times it's been fruitless, and you kind of feel a bit silly for a minute. But then one of the times you dash down an alley and you see this small kind of semi-insectoid creature. It's got these little beady eyes, and it just glanced at you for a second before like dashing around a corner. But you are sure that you have seen something now. It was about this big, and you weren't able to fully make out all of its features, but it was quite creepy, quite alien. Yeah.
Insectoid, you said?
It sort of it behaved insecty. Yeah,
Okay.
looked a bit insectoid. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, so Binar's called you to this meeting, and yeah, Binar's called you to this meeting, and as you kind of gather round, you come in, and she's by this point has obviously given her condolences about the losses of your group and everything, and sees this other person and says, she as you all come in, she kind of looks around, and then when her eyes fall on you, you see that she becomes much more expressive. She's really not like, she's normally pretty fucking like monotone facially sort of thing. If that makes sense. And she says, "You are Pilana, correct?
Yes.
May I ask your full name?"
I kind of step forward and I give a little bow and I say, my full name is Pilana Immeral, Green Knight of the Feywild.
You say that as you say that, she kind of like stifles a gasp, like a slight gasp, and says, my liege, it's my honour to have you in our presence. Might I ask how you came to be in the material plane?
Does she knows about? She of course knows about Orenthor and everything, doesn't she?
Yeah. I think, bananas. Yeah.
I filled in at one point.
I was called upon by Orenthor to aid my companions here in their quest, and came through a portal. Came through a toad.
I arrived upon the toad.
She says, and might I ask further your relation to the Immortals?
I am. What's her name? Sorry. I am daughter of Voya and Hilladron.
You see, she kind of like gulps and like struggles to like hold her professionalism together, and says, "I must insist that you meet with our leader, Kulen Kress, King of Kulen Kress.
Sure.
He will be most pleased to make your acquaintance. Although your being here may beg questions, as I'm sure you're aware."
Okay.
She says, you see she kind of like struggles to like get her composure together. She says, Pilana, with you here, I'm sure that the forces bestowed upon us will have a surely reduced chance of success. Now, the nature for which I call this meeting, I'm sure that you have experienced these unpleasant night terrors, among other grave symptoms that the town has been cursed. Now, these things, while rare, can occur in events like this, the regular transportation of troops and goods and weaponry and whatnot through the teleportation circles have created an influx of magic in this area, and as such, I'm of the suspicion that it has attracted creatures from other realms. She says, I'm not sure if it is coincidence that brings Sir Emeril here, but I don't doubt that that the situation could be linked. Now, as I'm the nature of which these the curses have occurred here are somewhat of a mystery to me. I was hoping to ask you, as people who have done so much for the town already, to investigate the matter more thoroughly. Perhaps search around, ask questions, anything you can. Do any of you have any information thus far?
And I say, on my strolls throughout the town, and in setting up and in aiding setting up the defences, I have found myself with a strange sense of unease, different to the dreams that have been troubling me at night. I find myself walking down alleyways that I wouldn't normally walk down, that are off the main thoroughfares. I'm certain I saw a creature. I can't say what it was, but it did not look of this realm. I've never seen the like before, not even delving into the Red Spore Caverns.
She says, have you managed to, and you're certain of this, you found something solid?
They're devious little bastards, I'll give him that. But I saw it. I made it. It scarpered pretty quick when it realised that I'd spotted it. Scuttled off into one of the sewers. But I'm certain I saw it.
You see,
there's no rat.
You'd see at this point, Pilana, you've kind of got slightly pursed lips, and you're probably like nodding slightly wryly almost.
Okay.
As you're almost certain that you know exactly what this is.
Okay.
These are not uncommon in the Fae. You think with almost certainty, hearing about the night terrors people are having, that the creatures that are here are what you know as a mean lock.
Oh, mean.
Yeah. So
Opposed to a friend.
Yeah.
So
Nice
for
lock.
now,
Big ships and small ships.
so I'm not going to show it to you two just yet, but
I've seen it.
yeah, but you're not like
Got
not quite
glimpse
enough
of it
from
in a
it.
dark
Yeah,
alleyway.
just splash it.
So
It's like
they're these
Google.
they're little and small.
Ooh.
Temptation.
Okay,
And so basically these are little creatures that are nasty pests. They'll inhabit any situation they can. They're naturally found in forests. But when they infiltrate a settlement, they cause like a range of like mental effects, mostly nightmares. They kind of feed off fear and unsettled.
Interesting.
What are they called?
I
But
assumed
what-
this was all something that the cult was doing. Yeah.
So you, the thing that this doesn't explain, which is something which everyone's realised is now something magical, is the weather.
Yeah.
It's not associated. But yeah, so you know this, so feel free to say whatever you, or like you can say whatever you want.
Okay.
As Enoch's just described this thing, and then from there you can move.
Okay. To me, this sounds like you have an infestation of mean locks, a common pest in the Feywild. They are easily fall.
They're what, sorry?
How difficult are they to like?
They're pretty annoying.
Pretty annoying. Okay, they're pretty annoying.
Yeah. You feel free to like make some shit up if you want. We can
Okay.
work on it.
They're easy as fuck to get rid of.
And pose no danger whatsoever.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really have much else in
Sure, yeah, fine. Vinar says, Meanlock. The name rings true in my mind, but perhaps not in a tone I've read for some time. You see she like rifles through some of these old books and things and pulls this one particular one out. It's called Volley's Guide to Monsters. It actually probably would be Volley's. Volley's Guide to Monsters is a canonically accurate
Oh, really?
book. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Like that's Follow. He's documented a load of weird monsters that aren't in the monster manual.
Oh, cool. Can I just ask, what's like Eladrin's deal when it comes to Drow? Because they're like the evil elves, right?
Yeah. So
would I know about them, or they're not really in the Feywild?
So they are in the Feywild, but they didn't originate in the Feywild.
Got it.
The Drow. I mean, you might not know this, but I'm telling you anyway. Just but basically, the Drow came into existence after elves came to the material plane and then delved deep into the Underdark.
Right.
Sort of transformed.
Sure.
But quite a few of them have gone back.
Okay.
And quite a few of them fucking love the Unseelie Court.
Sure.
So yeah,
Okay.
you would
Okay,
be
cool.
like, you would have like you may have encountered some, but yeah, you probably not your fave.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got you.
But this one obviously seems to be paying you a lot of respect and stuff. So maybe a bit confusing. Maybe another lie.
Maybe a what?
Maybe another like thing that's like.
Got you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I'm gonna be pretty wary of her then.
Yeah. So yeah, you can do that what you will. Yeah, they say. So you'd know that what you explain to people is that the Meanlocks, they abhor light. They're always in dark, miserable places. And yeah, they're humans. Maybe perhaps when Vinar takes this tome out and begins talking about them with you, you kind of learn all this together.
Is there a picture of one in there?
I wonder if there's like a bad drawing of one somewhere. That'd be good. Yeah, not so much. So they say, they say that they'll kind of instill this fear in people until they're exhausted and miserable, and then they'll pick at people and feed on them, and they're little carnivorous bastards, basically.
And is there a part of the town where it seems to be sort of worse than other parts of the town, or is it kind of just a kind of blanket sort of miasma?
It's pretty much a blanket miasma, but that's something you could investigate, maybe.
Sure.
Yeah. Sure. So shall we go to a little investigation phase? So that everyone's kind of wrapped up with this little meeting. So yeah, as you guys leave the keep, you're probably like asking Kalana about. She's probably telling you what she knows and things she might not know and things. And yeah, how would you like to proceed with this?
So, Kalana, you say that these creatures seek out the darkest, most fetid environments to sow their miasmic pestilence. It seems like the sewers and dungeon would be the best place to start. Do you have any ideas about where these creatures might be dwelling?
I mean, would I have any specific information about where they like?
So, I mean, that's not a bad shout.
Yeah,
you might not really know what a sewer is.
Yeah.
Just shit on the floor.
Elves not shit. They metabolize every ounce they eat.
Yeah, elves don't poo. Legolas definitely doesn't poo.
No, the elves bumholes. I hope not. Seems weird for an elf to have a bumhole.
It seems weird to picture them like squatting.
You know? Yeah. Leaves.
Because they eat a lot of fibre as well. Like
Yeah.
pretty much exclusively.
Yeah.
Constipated
But it's a
as fuck.
tiny amount though, isn't it?
Lambus bread. No, they don't
But they-
survive off lambus bread.
Yeah, that's true.
They eat like salad.
Yeah.
And pigs. And deers, probably. I would know.
Yeah. I was just thinking about there we go.
Oh yeah, they're all vegetarian.
Yeah.
But they're fucking
Yeah.
losers, they're okay. Yeah, imagine if the elves in D&D were like the elves in Aragon. Because everyone just had to be an elf. Anyway, yes, so... Yeah, so you say would they be in the sewers?
I don't really know what you mean by a sewer, but as you say, they do like to dwell in dark and dank places, so if that fits the description, that might be a good place to start.
Can you give me an intelligence check?
And would... Yeah?
Just a straight intelligence.
Intelligence?
Not
Oh,
yeah.
just a straight intelligence.
I think, isn't it?
5.
Okay.
Yeah.
Shall I try?
That checks out. And these creatures, they'd be drawn to areas of profound misery,
No, they create the misery.
but they then feed on those that they infect.
Yes, so they are the ones that sow the misery into the lives of the people around them, and once people are so, subjugated and miserable to the point where they won't fight back, they will start to eat upon them and feast upon them.
She would add that it's like,
Don't tell me what I'd add.
well, something she knows and not add. Is that like, it's like they're opportunistic. So this is kind of like prime real estate. There's a situation where doom incoming, but people doing pretty well. It's like perfect situation to fuck with people,
So it seems to me that we should focus our efforts on the dark places and places where there is the most misery around, because it seems to me that we might be able to catch one of these creatures in the act of either sowing its fear or starting to feed. Surely they must have started already with the amount of night terrors that the city's been experiencing. I'm sure there's some poor bastards out there that are right on the brink.
Yes. Meanlocks can be pretty sneaky. It might be a good idea to set some form of trap.
Immediately starts just roasting someone, just like
Holy fuck!
all your dreams are real!
Man, if I were you, I'd let myself get eaten.
So, where do you want to go then?
Sewer sounds like a good shout, I think.
Sewers or dungeon? I think
dungeon,
people in
yeah.
a dungeon would be pretty miz. So, being...
Yeah, dungeon makes more sense because there are directly people there that are trapped that can't move, and
I might go around and check like cellars of taverns and stuff.
Yeah,
Keep all mouldy food.
Yeah, alright. So,
I'll go and check some, traders, safes.
Routine inspection. I need to
it's very dark in this thing.
Yeah, I need to look for some mean locks.
Sorry, am I wrong? It is classically dark in safes.
That would be such a good, funny thing to try and bullshit. Like being like, oh yeah, like just today, like, oh, pest control, we're looking for mean locks.
Yeah.
And we're like, what? Yeah, we need to come in.
Just raiding the people that we're trying to protect.
Well, I've not been paid yet, so...
You've been paid in free everything so far. I'm sure you'll be paid in some good things when you're back.
No, I'm very possible that we all died, but...
Okay, so want to go to the dungeon? You guys are looking around a bit.
Yeah, dungeon. Yeah.
Let's have these perception checks as we go in.
Sure.
Passive.
Or
active.
I'm assuming you guys are actively deceiving.
Nothing here.
Well, it's really dark in here. I can't really see anything.
Yeah.
26.
Ooh. What's that?
No, you got 4.
Yeah, that was my...
Oh, 312 again.
No, I got 22 for my perception check, and then I added my D8 modifier.
Nice.
Got you.
That was your modifier.
Yeah.
Fair.
Non-nat 20.
Hilariously, I actually got a 4.
Oh, okay, well, that's right.
A non-20.
Non-nat 20.
Okay, yeah, they're everywhere.
Just like, Here's one.
It's just eating his foot. Oh, that's what that is.
His name's Clarence.
This guy's been around for weeks. Is this who we're looking for? Are you joking?
Oh, these things.
Oh, you mean the toe munchers?
That's our new name.
Dave and the boys. Yeah. Oh, they're horrible, those ones. Fucking miserable, I tell you.
Yeah, so yeah, I'd say that on your way to the dungeon, as you're like making your way down there, you see that with the guard following you and everything, and you know what's going on. You kind of head down into the dungeon itself, and where all these prisoners are, you see that like from when you were down here last, James, like some of them are like crying and shit, like it's pretty mez. You see that this dragonborn chap don't give a fuck. Like he's literally stood in the same position that he was before.
How long has it been? Like days?
It's been like a week. Yeah.
Just being eaten.
I think I'm making my point.
You get it, you're hard.
I'm entering the erection. Assert dominance.
He's actually a huge S&M fan. He's like, oh my god, this pain. It's so good.
Wait, who actually put him in here? He's like, shit, no.
The only reason he was raising power bands was to get locked up. Okay, so yeah, you guys come down and you see this. Like the second you come down, I guess you don't, you two. You both see this. You see one of them basically skitter out of one of the cells and jump down this drainage drain in the middle of the.
A drainage drain. It's like drainage drain.
Yeah, he's kind of dashed out one of these cells, and you see that none of the prisoners really seem to notice it at all, really. But you see the cell it came out of. It's got like maybe like 5 or 6 people in it who are all just kind of like sat down and like just like all just like miserable. You see that they've got some like food around. Quite a few of them have just not been eating their food as well. They're all looking pretty fucked. Yeah. So, what do you want to do here?
Has the guard come with us? Presumably, yeah.
Did he see it or no?
So I'm going to say, we come on the authority of Vinar.
Who are you saying this to?
The guard.
The guard. Oh,
Yeah.
You're down there already.
We're already in there. We've spoken to
Yeah.
him.
Oh, fine.
Yeah, as in like, you know, by the order of Vinar, these prisoners are becoming a liability to the security and morale of the troops. It would be wise to move them, shackled, of course, to a different location, potentially outside of Kulen Kress, to try and minimise the amount of effect that their presence is having on the town.
Sure. Okay. Do you maybe want to do like a? Is this like a deception?
Not really. I feel like I'm pretty confident I've got the Vinar's authority.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, it's not a bad move, but as in like an order like this would come from higher up, kind of thing.
Oh, higher than Vinar?
No, not higher than Vinar, but as in
Right.
like.
Oh,
They
I'm
would
saying
have
it's
to
coming
come-
from Vinar.
No,
But
I
it's
know
not,
you're
but
saying
you're
that, as
coming
in,
up with
like,
this,
they-
though.
You were
and,
just
like,
saying this.
Oh, right.
as
The
in,
order
like,
would
they
have to
would receive,
actually
like, a
come.
formal.
Yeah, there'd be like she'd like sign something
Yeah,
that we could
yeah,
give to
yeah.
them.
I slightly missed it. Are you asking to move the prisoners outside of
Kulen
Kulen
Kress.
Kress?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
because like,
Sus.
huh?
Sus.
Yeah.
Apart from the Dragon Ball. He
Uh,
didn't care.
I'll say. Okay, do like a persuasion because it's not that you're trying to
Sure.
lie. This is just your sort of as in like. I think it's fair for Enoch to think that that's like cool. I guess.
Yeah,
Makes sense.
20.
Okay. He says. I see. Well, we'll begin the proceedings, but I'll have to wait the formal designation.
Are you really going to make me go to Dinar in a time of crisis and get her to sign a bit of paper and get me to come all the way back here wasting time that I could be dedicating towards extra defence of this town.
I understand the threat at stake, but I'm afraid there's formal proceedings that we have to go through, especially with something as significant as relocating prisoners.
You're a bloody pencil pusher, mate.
I'm just doing my job.
That's what
So were the Nazis.
But yeah, so as in he's willing to like begin that as he trusts that like that's fine, sure, but you know needs
the
sign
actual, yeah.
Which I'm sure given they're all quite high authority anyway at the moment.
I might say to Dorwin, you see it went down that sewer. Lots of probable combustible material down there. What do we say we make that sewer a lot less dark and wet?
And there's Pilana's still like, what is this thing?
I was like sticking her head down.
It smells terrible.
I'd say that the guard kind of like shouts to the other ones and like shouts up to the guard and says, bring the manacles, and various guards come down and like go into the cells. You see that they leave the Dragonborn guy alone. And go through and begin shackling people, and they go through and the prisoners in there, they're like really they've been seriously hit hard by this. Obviously they're kind of a bit unresponsive, a bit floppy, so they like begin shackling up, and you see as you guys are like investigating the sewer and like looking around the place, you just hear one of the guards just go, oh my god, come have a look at this. And like gestures people to come around the cell, and you see that guards kind of come around, and you guys poke your head in, and you see that he kind of like holding his mouth like this. He takes one of the prisoners, who was just kind of like lying there against the wall, and like turns him over, and his whole like back has been like eaten out, and you see his like spinal cord, and it's like it's just fucking vile basically. Like rolls this guy over, and he goes, oh, how did this happen? And he kind of like steps back a bit, and you see the other prisoners like they just don't even react to it at all, really.
And is this guy like dead? Or
He's been completely hollowed out.
Hollowed out from the inside. Oh, so dope.
Hollowed out. He's dead, yeah? Oh, sick.
It's like such easy orthopedic surgery. Bones only.
Good news is your bones are fine.
Just writes on hand. Me don't like bones.
Yeah, so I'll kind of turn to the guard and be like, unfortunately, this is the reason we're down here. This is the reason we're searching the dungeons. We have this infestation, and this is why we need to move the other prisoners for their own safety.
He says, yes, very well. We'll begin the proceedings. Feel free to, or please investigate as much as you require here. We can't let this happen again. And with that, do you guys want to...
Yeah, what do we want to do next?
Well, I was thinking that we should, lob a fireball down the sewer.
Is the sewer not full of water?
I don't think sewers are typically all full of water. I think it's mainly shit.
Just dry shit.
And piss, yeah.
Yeah, and piss. But I think it's not like a plumbing or a tap. It's like just a kind of sludge river, but like not all the way to the top. Like sewer would be like you could like walk. You could probably
there wouldn't be running water in this.
No,
place,
yeah.
You could probably
you could probably like walk in if you really wanted to. You
Is
probably
poo flammable?
Yeah, extremely.
It's like
really?
methane, isn't it? Coming off it and
Fair.
stuff.
And
with the shot.
peat as well is like kind of shit.
Obviously, I wouldn't know what any of this is going to do, but like...
Fire is typically hot.
No, I know, but I as Pilana don't know what's down there. But like, do we really want to like potentially light on fire? Like, all that fire could explode out of all the other drainage systems throughout the town. do loads of
I'm
irreparable
going to
damage.
you're encouraging you, not here.
Yeah, it could, couldn't it?
Potentially weaken the defences of the
I mean,
town and.
I don't think shit can like blow up. I think it could if there were I think it would torch a little bit of the sewer. I mean,
Well, okay.
You listen. You saw a sewer about 5 minutes ago for the first time.
Yeah. No, that's what I'm saying. I wouldn't know this, but.
I don't know, Dorwin. You're the man with the fireball. What do you think?
Might be worth a shot. I can't imagine poo will be our downfall. So.
Last words.
Elvis thought that.
Who doesn't think
Yeah.
that? Yeah.
So you guys have had that thought before. I'm pretty sure I won't die from poo.
Well, now I have.
Sure, I'll chuck a chromatic orb down there.
Alright. You kind of ping this chromatic orb, and you see that the second it goes down, it just kind of just extinguishes.
Okay.
Like the second it enters the sewers.
Okay. So like the drain, but like as it doesn't even reach the sewers.
It goes it goes through the drain, and then you see the light just immediately kind of
I'm
disperses.
just imagining a mean not light. As it comes past. Right, well, it seems we figured out they're using the sewers to get around at least. Maybe we could set up some kind of trap to suffocate or kill them as they leave and enter the sewers. I'm not sure what mean locks are weakest to, but maybe a guard on each sewer entrance or something like that.
So, if fire doesn't work, what about water? What about flushing them out? Of course, it would also flush out all the shit, but also get rid of our mean lock problem.
Probably worth it. But we should run this by Vinar first. She might have other ideas.
Minash. Yeah. Alright.
Sure. So you say you go back to Bernard?
Sure.
Double check.
Yeah, you see at the moment she's got a couple of mages in her office, and she's talking with them. But,
Yeah, just very Quiet, we have a poo problem. Enough of this nonsense. This is urgent. We must flush the sewers as soon as possible.
And Vinar's like, I knew poo would be my downfall.
It was prophecy.
She's got like a stained glass window.
Someone just caught it.
This is a stained glass poo emoji.
Okay. Bernard just looks to them and says, "Excuse me one moment," and they kind of bow and skitter out, robes flowing behind them. Harry, well, you can leave. And yeah, you guys come in and say, and she says, "Back so soon? What have we discovered?"
Unfortunately, there's been a death in the dungeons.
Death in the dungeons. I thought you ought to know.
Yeah, one of the prisoners fell victim to a mean lock. It seems they were using some kind of hole in the ground to enter and leave the room.
A sewer.
She says, of course. Yes. There's an entrance to the sewers just outside the city. Should you wish to investigate?
Do you want to do it?
Yes. I was like, hell yeah.
Oh, so the entrance is outside of the city. Fantastic.
She says, yes, but it's blocked up by it's protected by usual steel grates. It'd be a difficult thing to find. Although I do wonder what this means for our kobolds.
Kobolds.
What a kobold?
So you don't know.
Yeah.
You guys both know what kobolds are. They're these little draconid people. They're little mini humanoid draconids.
and they like make burrows, they like big tunnels and stuff.
Are they good or bad?
So they're bad, but what you would know from being in Squall's End is that, I mean, to be fair, they probably didn't use them in Squall's End, but you wouldn't be familiar with this. It's not uncommon for people to, if they can offer kobolds something that they want, they are pretty happy to do whatever. You know, they're pretty cowardly little creatures. They're not like straight up evil, but they do like to eat people and stuff. But what's not
pretty evil then.
yeah, only like in the wild,
Sure.
you can get them a bit kind of a goblin situation, but they're less evil than goblins in general.
Evil like how a bear is evil.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, they're not smart, but they're not stupid. And basically, towns and cities and stuff will sometimes make alliances with kobolds, and they will basically sort out their citizens for them.
And what would you say, Vinar, to flushing the sewers, trying to be rid ourselves of this problem?
She says, well, I'm not sure whether that's something we can manage.
Sorry, just quickly, did you explain what the kobolds were doing specifically here?
Making the sewers.
Yeah.
Oh, they make the
they
sewers.
build the sewers and
Okay,
maintaining the stuff.
Got you.
Yeah. Little
So
benefits.
clever that D&D has like plumbers.
Yeah.
Maybe the kobold would have an idea of how to
Or maybe they've
clean up
seen
their
them.
sewers.
Maybe
yeah.
they've seen if they've got a nest or something.
Or maybe the kobold have been affected first by these creatures and have already perished. Seems like quite odd that these kobold would just stand by whilst creatures invaded their home. Yeah, they live in the sewers.
They live in this sewer, yeah.
They live in the
They
sewer.
normally live in like tunnels and stuff.
Fine.
Yeah.
Are
But
they,
the sewers are perfect.
And they haven't.
are they helping making the tunnel network, the thing he was talking about?
They definitely will be. Yeah.
And okay, they're living in the sewers and haven't chosen to make a
Yeah.
new shit tunnel.
They don't give a fuck about the shit.
But they don't give a fuck. Oh, fair. Dirty fucker.
Dirty fucker.
Okay.
Where is the entrance to the sewers, Vinar?
She's a little way southwest of the main gates, in the south. 4 little things. I don't doubt Meanlocks would be terrorising them as we speak.
Then maybe let's go lend a hand.
I'm going to need some different clothes. I'm not walking through the sewer in this.
Sure, yeah.
I can clean you.
I'm still not doing it, mate. There are some things you can't wash off.
I can respect that decision. Prestidigitation only runs so deep.
I'm all for lending these kobolds a hand. We've proven that even if we do come to their aid, these creatures are incredibly slippery. They're just gonna scuttle off before we can do anything. The moment we appear or set foot in the tunnels, I think we need a trap or something pushing them towards us so that we can pick them off at a time of our choosing. Be the ones to spring the trap, not blunder into there.
She says, when you say that, she says, yes, this is wise thinking, Enoch. I can order some groups of our men to go down as small groups. I'm sure they were able to fight them as groups. Perhaps you're able to corral them into a central location and deal with them there.
How much water can you make per second with create water, which is a cantrip?
It's not a cantrip, but I don't have it.
Oh, okay. Oh, it was tied down.
Yeah.
You do it once per day. You guys need a decanter of endless water.
We do.
Are any of those knocking about?
They're very rare.
Yeah, fair enough.
Also, the last time I gave a player a decanter of endless water, they completely broke my whole game. So,
Really?
Yeah, I
They just
really.
used it in every
Did
single
they
thing
flood
ever.
everything?
Eh?
Did they just flood everything?
Sort of.
Yeah,
They did,
that's
they-
pretty much what I was planning
Yeah,
to do.
yeah.
in this
So
problem.
this is it's just something I was going to mention. So the person who had it is Henry. Henry might potentially join us.
Oh, we've spoken about
He's
this.
in the chat. He was
Mm.
going to join
Oh,
us
really?
originally, yeah, but he was like, time issues. He's moved to Birmingham.
Oh, do you?
So yeah, so once he's like set up, if he like
Yeah.
not
Sick.
come along for a few,
Yeah, of course.
he's a good player. He's very creative, but he once came up with one of my favourite D&D things ever, where basically they had been like going through this like dusty old dungeon, and by speaking to some of the inhabitants of the dungeon, they were able to figure out that like the terror of this dungeon, it was an old mine, was a vampire. And basically what happened is when they got into the room where the vampire was, I was like describing this like dramatic sequence of this vampire. There's like really high level vampire emerging from its tomb. And Henry was like, wait, can I just say something? And I was like, yeah, alright. And he was like, before the vampire like opens the tomb, can I just like say something to the group? I was like, yeah, sure. He was like, right, everyone pile on. And he said he got the whole party to dive on the tomb so that the vampire couldn't open it. The barbarian who was just like holding it closed while they were all on it. And Henry pulls out his decanter of endless water and just blasts it in the tomb. And so he didn't know at the time, he was just trying to drown it. But what he didn't know at the time, well, a bit of a spoiler, I don't know, so if you ever encounter a vampire, just forget about this. Well, they don't hit again, I guess. But they can't touch water, basically. So this thing was just like bubbling like to death in this tomb. And like I spiced up the encounter by having it like summon loads of ghosts and shit, which I had to deal with while I was doing this to like make it more fun. But it was such a
Yeah,
creative
that's
based
great.
thing. And also, sorry for harping on that stuff, but there's another thing that back when Henry was playing D&D with our old DM, one of his first characters ever, the first character he ever made was a halfling bard, and their first combat encounter was bandits come out onto the road, and he had agreed with the DM that he wanted his instrument to be a piano. And so the DM said, you've got like an ability to like summon the piano, but you have to be near it when you're doing your spells and stuff. It was quite cool. But he basically, what happened is everyone was like, right, I dive in the bushes to take cover. That's what everyone did. And Henry was like, I summoned the grand piano in the middle of this battlefield. Summoned the grand piano, and then the bandits went first, and they were low level. The bandits shot Henry's character, the nat 20, so shot through the piano straight into his chest, put him down onto 1 HP, and Henry was like, oh shit, got to his turn, and in an attempt of desperation, he was like, I kick the piano and try and like crush him on with it, and he was like, okay, cool, roll like an athletics check. He rolled a nat 1, kicked the piano, broke his foot and died. That was the beginning and end of his first character.
Death save.
Well, this was 3.5.
Oh, fine.
Mike never used to do that saves.
Oh, jokes.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
Such a good story.
It's mean of the DM to like give him that -1 HP
Yeah,
for that.
yeah.
And that one.
Yeah, it's funny though.
And he did an arrow in his chest. Anyway, okay, so, is that what you want to do? Do you want to add anything? Come up with any other plans and stuff that you might think of?
Yeah. How are you planning to motivate the meanlocks to run towards the guards?
Well, no, we're trying to. We as far as I understand the plan, we were using the guards to try and like shepherd the meanlocks in towards some point where they can't escape, kind of thing.
Okay.
Vinar,
But-
could you acquire a map of the sewer systems for us so that we might better understand this terrain?
Indeed, yes, most certainly.
My only thought is if how many of the buildings would have a drain into the sewers?
The
'Cause
buildings
that's a lot
themselves-
of exit points for them to just fuck off.
The buildings themselves wouldn't really. The main fort will probably have one, but it will be in a guarded room, the one in the fort, because it's obviously an entry point.
Right.
The dungeon has one.
Well, I mean, there's just guards and prisoners in the dungeon. There's like no way in or out of the dungeon.
No, there's a sewer in the dungeon.
Yeah, but then it's like there's guards all over the dungeon. All the
Yeah,
time.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
like, it's not.
Okay.
It's not
They wouldn't be able to
specifically
escape through that.
guard.
Yeah.
So it's like
Oh,
there's like one in the fort and one in the dungeon, and then there's no other. Well,
Yeah,
can
and
you see a
then
map?
and then, yeah, sure. So there's there's like multiple dotted around the city, but not really in buildings.
Right,
So
okay.
people will like dispose of their
Sure.
waste and down them and
Okay.
stuff.
So if we're going to do this plan, we need to block those off to make sure they don't.
Well,
have points of escape.
we said you said they were deathly afraid of light, so maybe if we do this during the day, they would leave as an absolute last resort, and would
Or
take.
maybe
Yeah.
we could. There's the light has no effect in this sewer. Is that something a Meanlock can do once their miasma gets to a certain stage?
What?
So you remember
Stop
when Dorwin put the fireball down the sewer,
Yeah.
instantly extinguished?
Yeah.
So it's like, is that something that a Meanlock's miasma causes?
No.
Okay. So I might mention that to the
Are they? Can I just check? Are they deathly afraid of light, or they just prefer darker places?
They really do abhor it.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah, we can use like guards with torches as a way to shepherd them into try and funnel them into one section, and have all the exits of the sewers blocked off, and then that's a pretty solid way of getting most of them
Or
into
at
one
least a guard by each one to slay anything that
area.
tries to
even
leave.
like with just like a torch above it kind of thing would probably do the job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I might mention to Gnar that the light had no effect in the sewer, and say, is that what she makes of that? I don't know if you want to explain that, because you obviously
Sure.
have more understanding of your spell.
Well, yeah, I didn't really see. Did it just like vanish, or did it get absorbed? You just couldn't really see.
As
Just
far as
disappeared.
so I would say that you would have felt you would have felt like a bit of heat come out from it still, but the light itself was gone.
okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
There was maybe there would have been like a flutter of light, but it would have been like you would have seen like if you. In fact, why don't you look back in your mind and do an investigation, try and remember specifically what you may have seen.
26.
Okay, yeah. So you would have seen that the sort of what you would see as like the essence of the spell persisted, but the light created by the fire was
Sure.
dissipated.
Okay.
All right. Shall I say it's the Vinar? Shall I?
I mean,
Yeah.
it would seem like it would be sort of more apt.
Vinar, when we tried to had a go at burning one of the escaped Meanlocks out of the sewer, the fireball I cast seemed to vanish earlier than I would have expected. It seems that perhaps the Meanlocks have found some way of dampening the amount of light that enters their newly found domain. Is this something you've heard of?
It's never something I've come across, but I'm not overly familiar with the Meanlocks. Plano, do you know if this is something they can do?
Sorry.
Do you know if this is something the light thing? Is this something they can do?
Do I?
Yeah, well, I said earlier. No.
No, they can't. No.
Same to now. Yeah.
No.
She says,
I see.
that is curious. Perhaps this is related to some of the other effects on the town.
Maybe it's best we set up the traps by the exits and go and investigate ourselves. Perhaps the kobolds can give some insight if there are any left.
Yes. Quite. Well, I'll send word to the men. They'll meet you by the sewer entrance, and I'll supply you with the plans you require, and with there I'll leave them under your command. I'll stay on the surface for now. However, should you need to contact me, take this. And she hands to you, Dorwin, one of the ascending stones.
We've and I'm just saying, we've also left instruction with the with the guards in the dungeon that the prisoners, the petty crooks and minor miscreants, should be shackled and moved to a different province or a different city in Eastbourne, so that the miasma might lessen a bit. I feel that the combination of night terrors and trapped prisoners is a particularly detrimental foul poison that is spreading over the keep itself.
I think that was wise advice. I'll send confirmation to the guards.
And we would be grateful if you could also station men at the major exit points of the sewer above ground, in case there are any meanlocks escaping.
I'll have some of the trainee crestmen from the academy do so.
Excellent.
Very well. Good luck. Please report your findings as you travel. It may affect our strategy above ground. Cool. Shall I scribble up a little thing?
Yeah.
Yeah? Cool. Alright, so...
Yoink. Have the new... What's going on with the battle stuff?
I've got 2, like, pretty heavy sets
Oh, okay.
of terrain.
Sick.
I don't want to give too much away,
Sure.
but they're both fucking dope.
Okay, cool.
Are there any bits that we might use for this? Maybe like do you have like barrels and crates and stuff?
Nothing's arrived.
Oh,
yet.
nothing's arrived. Fine.
It's all Etsy, so it's
Yeah.
So one of the things is Etsy, and it's coming from Kiev. So
As if they're still making it in the middle
yeah.
of the war.
so might
There's
be a
fucking
while.
bombs dropping around them.
Yeah, I know, right? So
Painting
the only
miniatures.
factories that haven't been destroyed.
Yeah, so
They're all the bits you get are all like singed.
Oh god, that'd be horrible.
so I realised that, and then bought like there's my mini store or mega mini store or something like that, which is actually like a pretty sick,
Doesn't really matter,
not expensive.
So I'll do an
like
entrance
a,
here.
terrain.
so in the centre, have it
So
more
I've
structured,
got,
and then
like-
outside more like erratic.
Sure.
Sure.
But so the one for this,
Do we do it like
think
the
they're
main
like,
body's 10 feet and then smaller
detailed
channels that are 5 feet
painted
across?
already,
Amazing.
which is going to be like so like probably
You do this one, and I'll just
one
do
of the
some
sets
stuff over
has like
Maybe do
70
ang-
pieces
straight
of
angles.
terrain.
Fuck.
Yeah,
Nice.
Yeah.
Sick.
Yeah, I don't know if you had an Oscar. One of the sets has 70 pieces of terrain.
Oh, fucking hell.
Um,
I'll do like a central area here where
Which,
most of the sewage goes to.
it's going to be very, very reusable for everything.
Nice. Very excited.
So yeah, everything will connect to this central area.
Fergie, did
Yeah.
you get more resin?
No, I can do.
Are you out?
Am I out? No, I've got a bit left.
Do you want to print some more dwarves, and I'll have a any painting session and just crack out loads of dwarves
Yeah,
and give them like dope battle armor.
yeah.
Might be
yeah.
fun to do it together.
Sure.
Um,
Yeah, we
Did
can
you,
do. We can do dwarves.
did you do any of the dragon? You said you were going to on the weekend.
I didn't. No, I ended up.
Oh, you
in
were
Sheffield,
going to
so,
yeah.
No, but I can do that before next session.
Do you want to add some? You can add some bits and bobs if you want, Jamesy. Maybe some like watery slurry and stuff like that. Maybe some difficult terrain. Maybe some of these have like patches where it's like thicker and gross and stuff, and then some bits which are whatever. Can chuck a few dead ends as well, if you want.
I assume every end is sort of like a sewer point. You know, these are like a grate.
Oh yeah,
Great,
yeah,
yeah,
nice.
great,
yeah,
yeah.
that's good.
This kind of thing. Just random.
Yeah, one thing I was gonna see if you guys were keen on doing was for Pilana's 4 different states. I was gonna do 4 different miniatures.
Oh no way.
It's whether or not you guys would be up for painting 4 different ones.
Yeah. Mate, player characters are always worth doing.
Sick.
Yeah.
Alright,
Some
dope.
corner.
We'll do your summer one.
Yeah.
Give us your summer one.
Yeah, I assume we're gonna have to wait a few months for each one to change, so we can do like.
No, I can do it on any long rest. We can change.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, fun. I thought it was like with the seasons.
No, they're all just after the seasons, but
Is the summer one going to be your battle one? Just without giving too much away, just yes, no.
I mean, at the spring is her main form.
Okay.
But at the moment, because of what she's just gone through, and what she's like working through at the moment, that's why she's gone into her summer state.
No, it's all fucked up though. That's cool.
Oh, I thought it was something not very nice.
Just move your hand a sec. Cool. Yeah.
Ah, okay, I've drawn a cookie. Sorry.
I've drawn a cookie.
I have.
Oh, there's the big sewer biscuit.
That's where they all are.
Wait, what
Big
are all
with
these?
chocolate
Are all of these
cherry
exits?
Yeah, these are all little
Oh, I
mini
thought there was like a
sewers.
couple of them.
Nah, there's loads.
Oh.
Turns out.
This is not a thing, is it?
I mean, this is just the map.
That's just
This
round, yeah.
just for the sake of it, guys. This map is not at all at the moment representative of the reality of the life. This is just the game map, okay?
Yeah, this is just
A
Okay.
placeholder, basically.
the
Sure.
director's cut.
Yeah,
What's is that one blue?
it's
It's a lake of
difficult terrain. Which I think it's a more difficult terrain, James. You're
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
What's the good?
Especially in these big ones.
shit.
What's
That's
oh, that's
Outs-
meant to be more shit.
that's outside the sewer though.
Remember
is
as
it?
well
Yeah.
It's
What's
a
this?
remember as well that the
What's the cross?
it's like a block in the road in
okay.
in the sewer.
yeah, because just
you know,
as a reminder,
bits of
James,
collapse.
like Coles live here, so they don't have like boxes and barrels of shit around and stuff.
Oh,
so
okay.
if you're-
Barrels of shit.
Not
love
actual
shit.
You know the garbage goober.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking of. Yeah. I love trash. Give me trash.
You are a doctor. Such a good bit. Come on, garbage goober. We got the hot, stinky trash.
Fuck me, there's a lot of great.
It's a big city.
It's
a whole ass town.
Small town.
Well, there's a
It's like
garden.
10
There's a garden
buildings.
each one. Half of these are blocked anyway. Or they'll probably just go into like a closed toilet room or something.
Alright, let's get some minis out. We can do like an individual mini for each squad of like 3 guards or something.
Sure. Yeah, I have it.
Just so you know, I'm probably going to call it at like 11ish.
Yeah,
Is that
true.
alright?
What's the time now?
25 to, yeah.
Yeah, we can start. I'll keep this map active and then
Okay.
maybe we can have the others involved.
If we're like close to finishing, then we can go a bit later, but I don't want to have a late one.
Yeah. We'll use tide for a soldier. We've got Enoch. Do you want to use Elixir for now, or should I find this different one that's more similar to you?
No, that's fine.
Use the Dragonborn warrior.
Yeah.
It's green. Oh, you're yellow now though. There is one you painted like almost fully yellow. Yeah, that'll do.
Brush, sword, and shield.
I can't see it.
It's not painted well at all. It's just like a test
Savage.
first level. Oh no, it's my.
Okay. Yeah, that works.
Yeah, I would have thrown that away.
Right, we'll use fire and Elixir for some soldiers. And I'll just swing this box over. I think choose and go. Jordan.
So here I go.
You got Enoch.
Well, you guys are going to be over by the entrance, aren't you, at the moment?
Is that not there?
Yeah.
There's 2 door wins, by the way. Make sure to use the ship.
Think? Yeah, that's.
Pretty good.
That's the good one. Yeah. I think.
No, this is a good one. I think.
Oh.
I think this is the ship.
Oh, is it?
No. Yeah, this is next that one.
Oh, yeah, this is the good one. Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah, deeds.
I say shit. It's average.
Yeah.
I'll maybe say, what do you think? 10-foot or 5-foot squares?
Oh, for fuck's sake!
5 foot, surely.
What is
10
it,
foot.
James?
It's the I support the nurses' strike,
Yeah.
but it's going to be really trash tomorrow.
Yeah.
It's going to
Why?
be trash tomorrow.
Because the nurse is striking.
Fair.
I just remembered, or someone told me.
Fair.
They're like, you're going to have a really bad day. And I was like, oh, good.
5 foot surely, otherwise 10 foot, that'd be huge.
Yeah. I might say what I'm going to do is
No, I reckon
I'm
the
going
whole
to say.
city is 10 foot.
It's not a city though, it's
The
quite a
whole
small
town.
town.
But there,
Well, it's like a mile across.
There's like there's a keep.
But
and a
hang
fort.
on. What I'm going to say for this is that the width of the narrow ones is 5 foot across, but the length of them is 10 foot across.
That makes sense.
Oh, got you. As in, so the width
So
there, but
this
each
is-
block of this is 10 foot.
Yeah, as in like so basically here to here is 10 foot, but here to here is 5 foot.
Oh,
So
okay.
just imagine they're like cut in half basically.
Got you.
So
Okay.
that is 5, but that is 10.
Yeah, that's
Got you.
cool.
But, as in for all, so all squares going this way
No, if
are
the-
5.
No, we'll do it
No.
based
Oh,
on like
okay,
the
got
direction
you.
of the tunnel.
Got
Yeah,
you.
yeah,
that was just specific to there.
Yeah.
yeah. Okay, so what I'm going to say is that as you guys approach like with your group of soldiers, when you get near the entrance of the sewer, you actually see sort of you spot as you approach the entrance of the sewer. Who's got the highest passive perception?
Me, I think.
Probably
What are your
me.
passive perceptions? Let me just put this in my main
13.
notes so I can keep this in my own stuff.
Was only 10.
Hang on, so we've got Pilana, 13, Enoch, 15, Golwyn,
10.
10. Okay, so Enoch, as we approach, you spot a little kobold, maybe like 30 meters away, out in the open. He's kind of like poking his head around and like sniffing the air a bit. He's got like this little, he's like got like a little dragon face, and quite like a kind of like a little muscly body. He's quite thin but like wiry.
The coin interests Cobalt.
They like shiny things.
Oh, sure.
Yeah. And you see it's kind of like looking over, and you see it kind of like nervously like scampers forward a little bit and like is looking around at you guys. Like you can't tell if he's like, you get the impression that he like sort of wants to be noticed a bit, but is a bit scared to come over.
Sure.
Go over.
Yeah, and so I'm gonna sort of hail him and say, you there, Cobalt. We come from Kulen Kress. We are emissaries and are tasked with the protection of both yourselves and the city of Kulen Kress. There have been confirmed sightings of beasts infesting these tunnels.
Yeah, yes, beasts.
And I don't mean yourself.
You're a moron.
He kind of like tosses over it and he says, "You come clear up, beasts."
We will certainly try, my little friend. We will certainly try.
Where's the accent?
We will certainly try, my little friend.
When there's someone like wimpy, he's like, yes, well, don't worry about it, little wimp. It like bolsters your own confidence.
Yes, we will definitely.
God, I'm so much above you.
I'm so much bigger.
I'm so much taller than you.
Hell yeah.
He goes, yeah, be careful. Cold in there.
I see. Yes, the lights do not shine in that dark place.
Have they been causing issues for you?
Yes, yeah, we have to leave the tunnels. There's nasty creatures in there, all sorts.
I see.
All sorts, you say? More than one type of creature?
Yeah, there's one where the water goes hard in there, and there's all those little nasty things too. They've been eating all my mates.
And how many comrades have you lost?
Oh,
I'm doing it.
How many comrades have you lost?
How many comrades have you lost?
more than this.
More than this. God, it's worse than we thought.
Oh, I was sure it was less than this.
And how many creatures would you say there were?
Definitely more than this.
Jesus.
My God! Evacuate the city!
Well, no wonder you've lost so many.
It's like running to the sea. There's more than this.
There's at least 9 things in the sewers.
9? What are you talking about?
And I kind of go over and I'll give it a little soothing, like,
Blowjob.
What's a soothing blowjob?
Never had one.
Let me show you, mine are so unsettling. Anyway, I'm going to try and kind of calm him down and be like, "Well, fear not, little one. We're here to rid you of these demons." Do they have a specific area where they kind of congregate, or are they all interspersed?
No, they come and go, but the place where the cold is there's something there.
Okay.
Not nice.
Can you point to this place where the cold is on our map?
What is this?
Okay, don't worry.
It's a map of the tunnels you've built.
No, it isn't.
I see.
Yes, it fucking is.
I see. Well, would you care to draw us a map of the tunnels you have built?
Kind of like settles down in this like kind of like sludgy water where the sewage water drains out, and you see he begins like just like scribbling like a load of nonsense basically into this sort of just like a tiny mess of nonsense.
How to Train Your Dragon.
Yeah.
Yes, so the entrance is here, and then it goes like this.
I see. Well, you've been most helpful.
Can you give me an investigation, or can all of you looking at this map?
I certainly can, sir.
Or just one of you?
23.
Alright, we'll just do it go phase. I forgot we normally do the one check for when
11.
But with advantage normally, right?
Yeah, but 20's fine.
Okay.
I got
So-
big investigations.
You have noticed in this load of scribbling that he's drawn, which is kind of erratic,
There must be a deeper meaning.
that there's you can actually make out the general shape of the sewer map that you've got.
You see?
But they seem to have drawn in lots of like, it's very hard to see because it just looks like abstract nonsense, but it looks like there's actually just loads of connections between them all, and he's afforded no line weight to the width of any of them. So
Right.
to him, there's like all these little cabins and stuff.
Oh, I see. But some are like little like
Tiny
cracks
Yeah,
in the
tunnels
thing
you've
and
got are,
stuff.
like ones that guys can
Yeah,
go through.
they've got like
Right,
bricks and
okay.
shit. But
Nice.
Interesting.
Do you communicate that to us?
Yes, yeah, I'll say. Guys, I think he's pointed out some paths that aren't on our map. I assume they're ones that have not been plotted by men.
That is definitely going to make hunting a very small bug more challenging.
Young Cobalt, do any of these paths lead to the surface that don't end up by these grates?
Kobold don't really like to go to the surface. Some of them do, but we're not really allowed.
Okay. Well, hopefully we can still get the majority of them out. I think if we cause enough disturbance, maybe it'll scare them away from returning.
This miasma's been gripping the titty for weeks. Surely it's going to take more than... What?
Sounds like gripping the titty.
Really
Sound.
sad.
Titty.
Yeah.
It's been gripping my titty.
That really grips my tits.
I think what you might want to add here is that it takes this sort of miasma effect takes a lot of mean locks. So you would probably be able to input that if you were to get rid of most of them, mean locks might still occasionally prey on an individual, but it would certainly alleviate the issue.
Okay. Cool. We should make a note of the alleys and cracks and
Am I
stuff.
able to note
Yeah,
roughly
you can
where
say
stuff
you
is?
can spend 10 minutes translating it over. Just add in loads of just single lines basically. 'Cause they're not big enough for you guys to go through.
Random shit.
Yeah, just do them all over the shop.
And it seems like in this fetid place that light and heat are both our friends. I say we try to construct as many light sources as possible on our way into this sewer.
Some shit like this. Is that right?
Yeah, just do more basically because you were looking at scribbles before.
Okay. Trying to find if there's any use of one being.
Are you slowly fucking up his mission? I think. Are they not inside? Oh no, never mind.
Yeah, that'll do, I
We'll
guess.
say something. Yeah, something to that effect. Cool.
Cool. Maybe there's more I don't notice or whatever, but...
Yeah, we'll say that's what Dorman's done. Nice. Okay.
Cool.
Okay, well, let's see what damage we can do.
So what's the plan? Are we all splitting off into these different sections and trying to draw them into this main area?
Yes, ideally we want to drive them out through the sewer grates where we have guards waiting to exterminate anything that tries to leave, or fight them ourselves. We could methodically move through the tunnels, clear out or scare away anything that is residing there.
Is the telly turned off?
No, it's not.
My music's not coming through it. Oh, no,
Really?
hang on.
Yeah, try again.
Did we have an internet drop maybe?
Maybe.
Possibly.
Yeah, sorry, go on.
If we can move through a tunnel and push any mean locks there out with force, and the guards waiting will be able to kill any that escape, we should be able to clear out most, if not all.
I think the kobold telling us of this cold presence in the heart of the sewer is most intriguing.
Yes, we'll certainly have to deal with that.
Vinar and Pilana have said that it is no mere meanlock that can conjure this particular miasma. As I said, fire and light seem to be our friend in driving these beasts where we want them to go. Perhaps we should go and take care of this unknown beast first. It would then allow us to set fires at some of the exit points, and the meanlocks could not go past these fires. It'd be much easier to control them, like sheep herding
Like lambs to
cattle.
slaughter.
Like sheep herding cattle.
Yes, I think you might be right, Enoch. Maybe that should be our first port of call.
Okay.
Alright.
Cool. So we're gonna go and
Nice.
set.
Yeah.
those-
So what are you doing then,
we're
lads?
gonna go and set those fires. Then.
We're going to go and kill the unknown monster that is potentially causing the blight of coldness and darkness in the sewer, or coldness and lack of light. So darkness.
Oh,
Even though the sewer's already pretty dark, but it's being extra dark.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, let's do that then.
So yeah, what are the movements then?
It's a fucking straight shot.
Dives into the puddle of piss.
Yeah.
Straight away.
I do the backstroke.
You take 1d6.
Toxic
Is this
damage.
the-
Post damage.
Do we know this is where the cold and
No,
dark
we
is?
don't, but
Can we
we're
ask?
assuming.
He can point even on his own map where the dark and cold area is.
It's sat. It says that basically they, as soon as shit started getting weird and their mates started getting eaten, they just dipped the fuck out basically.
Okay.
do you want to do initiatives?
Sure.
Okay.
Let's go, baby.
Oh, I just have to.
Nat 20.
Fucking no, I just love good rolls.
15.
Yeah.
What'd you get?
22.
12.
What's your modifier on initiative then? 3?
5.
That's 5. Fuck.
Max dex, baby.
Alright, so what's the highest number?
22.
Oh.
Then it's me with 15 and then Dorwin with 12.
Alright, okay, so number 1, Enoch. And then, what was the next one?
Me. And then with 15 and then Dorwin with 12.
Is it freezing in here?
I'll explain it one moment.
Thanks.
Okay, so yes, as you guys step into the cabins, we'll have everyone, when you're moving as a group, I'll have you all acting on your turn. Yeah, Enoch, you're up first. How would you like to move? Oh, and then I should roll for the guards as well, shouldn't I?
Yeah.
Yeah, they got 16, so...
How many guards do we have with us?
We'll say each one of those figures, we'll say those 4 figures, we'll say each one of them is 2 people.
Okay.
Yeah, that seems reasonable.
Sure.
Sure.
So, you're this check.
Yeah.
So
You don't know,
it would actually be
Alexi.
single file down here,
Okay.
but you just use Enoch as your main one basically, because you weren't here when we were saying it, but basically we've halved
Isn't
the
it?
width
Is it not
and doubled
10?
the length.
Is it not 10 foot for this main one?
It will be 5
5.
foot for the main one.
And 2.5 for the littles.
No,
No,
so
we
what
said-
we said
we
was
said-
it was
we
width
said
is
this is
5.
five. But this would be 10.
It's 10 foot across there, so yeah, two per breast.
So
yeah,
what we
but
said
only
was-
only for this bit and
Yeah.
this bit.
Yeah, for these things, width is 5 and then
Yeah.
length is 10.
Oh, sure.
We'll say that, I know it doesn't really work mathematically, but we'll say that central section is like the react is 10, 10, 10, 10, 10.
Sure.
10, 10, 10, 10. Fourth dimension.
They can be. We can have a non-Euclidean.
10 meters in time.
Yeah. Each square is 10 seconds.
There's a castle run in 10 miles.
Do you have family that's canonically accurate? Apparently the whole thing is that he didn't use because parsecs is a unit of distance, and apparently like to get through the Kessel Run, you have to use like the warp routes that are already there, which are a certain number of parsecs. But Han Solo was a good enough pilot to not use the warp routes and go through a quicker, like a shorter direction. So
Yeah,
he did less amount
but
of
it's super
parsecs.
dangerous, right?
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
why. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So, as you guys just use Enoch's miniature for you guys moving around for now,
Okay.
and then we'll. What's the next thing?
Oh, Enoch. Oh, sorry.
Oh, I mean, we can do Pilana. To be fair, you're probably leading the way, aren't you?
right at the front.
Yeah, do Pilana, have Pilana do it because she's the.
And what kind of temperature
Baddest
is it down
bitch.
here?
I'm getting to the description. I'm sorting out the
Very excited about the temperature.
So you find that.
Meaty.
Most of the people, most of the guards do have these little. Most of them have like these magical lights, because you're anticipating this like, magical darkness sort of thing. And you find that one of them did have a torch. The second you kind of step, like as soon as you literally cross the threshold from the opening to the sewer to in, it's immediately like a waft of icy cold wind just washes over you, and the torch just immediately just like flutters into nothing.
Do these
The
guys still
magic
have
lights
the
go.
magic lanterns?
The magic lights are
that,
still,
like the
still
rocks?
glowing. Yeah, they've got
Can I see my dark vision works?
the dark vision works.
Cool,
Yeah.
cool.
Okay. So,
Does Plana have dark vision?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, 60 feet.
And the second that you step into the sewer as well, you hear a noise.
It's just a plot. Wipe out.
You have some good one.
Very knacked hunter.
Yeah.
It is.
What's that?
The Nazi zombies map.
Zombies,
Oh, yeah.
Five.
Fuck, how we get
Yes.
through that?
You hear this cackle and you see that immediately
that fresh?
the guards are talking amongst themselves, kind of saying, "What's that?"
Hold firm, lads. Hold firm.
I grab my cock.
I draw Frostbane out of its scabbard.
That's why you're interested in the temperature.
Yeah, that's the only fucking reason. I don't give a fuck about anything else.
So I don't think I was around when Frostbane was explained. What's the deal with it?
Oh,
okay.
Why don't you tell you what she sees?
So you see, at my hip, you might have clocked it in a couple of days, like swirling about the furs of my cape, is this like icy blue like dragon head with like gold teeth, and the dragon head is open into a permanent roar, and you put your hand like to hold it like around the jaw. It's got these golden teeth that drop down and form like the guard of the sword, and then go round with some sort of filigree twisting around, kind of almost like a horse's mane, but kind of like small scaly to the dragon. And it's this celestial blue base to the sword. And as I draw it, you see it's this long, curved scimitar. So quite a fat blade and curved. And it's got like a kind of like a two-pronged point to it to kind of simulate like a dragon's tail, that kind of thing. And as I draw it, you see this bright sort of like Fenrisian light, erupt from the sword, and it just bathes 30 feet in this bright light.
Sick. What does it do though? What's the it has
Frost
special-
damage.
Frost damage. Okay, cool.
That's what it's called. Frostbane.
Frostbane.
Is the name of the sword. It's the name of the sword.
Nice, yeah. So this kind of blankets the area in light, it's kind of icy light, which you can almost feel the coolness of it as well as it emerges. And you begin making your way through the tunnels up to this cackle you just heard.
Sorry. It's 10-foot radius, and then a dim light for an additional 10. That's almost a 30.
Nice.
Just to
You find that as you make your way in as well, a lot of the sewage has kind of frozen, creating these various slippery surfaces that are sometimes a bit difficult to navigate on. In certain areas, we will be doing dexterity checks when I feel like it. So you would probably instruct the men to. How do you instruct the men? What do you want to do? Maybe Lana, you're kind of like more of a military-minded person, I guess. So maybe you kind of absorb a leadership role.
So are we're journeying to find this cold, dark area. I guess does it make sense to split off and check out all these different?
Do we want to check this bit first, just in case it is there, and then maybe split off from there?
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
Because
Yeah, let's
our
do that.
secondary objective is to drive all the mean locks into the exits. So if they've got magical lights, that will probably freak them out. So
Cool. All right, yeah, let's do that.
and then I guess make a plan for if someone finds this nasty thing.
You find that as you make your way through the tunnels here,
Could I? Oh. No, I couldn't. Never mind.
you hear into the caves.
Looks like someone's hungry.
You see. You kind of hear this little skittering and scattering whenever the light kind of penetrates a new area. You see
Goes around the corner.
just beyond the edge of the light, these little insectoid silhouettes kind of scutter away from the light, making little creepy tattling noises as they fall around.
The
Would we,
Balrog
because
shows
we've
up.
got
And all the goblins scutter into the walls.
because we've got dark vision further than what the light can do. Can we see them just chilling?
Yes, I guess you can. Yeah, so you see these little creatures with your dark vision. Their colours are greyed out, but you can see that even with the dark vision, they've got these kind of like pale white eyes. They seem to like bring in no light really.
I guess if they're not moving from the light, it's quite hard to spot amongst the like
Yeah,
mouldy walls
just
and shit.
Gross, like slimy walls and things, but you can still see like their little shapes and things, and they're like
Some clear legs sticking out and stuff.
Yeah, you'll see them like they'll kind of like look towards the light. Some of them kind of like hesitantly, and then as the light actually approaches, you'll see them disappear into little holes in the wall, kind of trypophobic in some areas.
I imagine like funnel web spiders and they have little legs poking out the hole, just like three
I'm
walls.
assuming they're not attackable if they're.
I mean, if you've got range,
I've got range.
and just now
Got range.
that you've seen
Got
them,
range.
this is what they look like. That's the argument. PTSD.
Okay. Oh, so quite big. Like,
No, they're tiny.
oh, tiny. Okay.
He said like this big. He said.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
small.
Fine. Oh, I thought more of like a centipede type thing for some odd reason.
Yeah,
Sounds
fair.
good.
Like that's what
I'd
I had in
love
my
to
mind.
know. I'd look when something's described. I really wish I could see what people's images are.
I had the same. I had something with like loads of legs.
Yeah,
it was like
yeah.
long and kind of stood up its body.
I should have
and
said
that's how it-
humanoid.
Yeah.
But yeah, they've got these little pincers and these kind of like little tendrils and pincers in their mouth. It's a bit of a clusterfuck.
Are these the meanlocks or something
Meanlocks.
else?
Meanlocks.
They are. Okay, fine.
It's not very nice, but you can.
Okay.
Draw it slow because it's not very nice.
Yeah, I'll have a bit. Thank you, mate.
Yeah, so I mean, why don't we say like to save combat reasons? Should we say thematically you're just fucking spinning out with daggers and like pinning them against walls and shit sometimes, and anyone's got a bit of range.
I'll be dashing Ray of Frosts at any I see.
Sure, yeah, there's like constant little things. You see that every once in a while a slightly skittish guard might launch a crossbow bolt, sometimes hitting something and miss it. And as they go past, they'll like retract them from the walls and like wipe them off and sit them back in their bolt pouch. Yeah, and you find that the further you go, the colder it gets, to a point where why don't you guys? It's not going to have like a game-changing effect, but give me Constitution saves.
That one.
Oh dear.
Oh.
Really
23.
Bad rolls out, aren't you, Fergie?
So you're
23,
like
nice.
23. So you're like third, not one of the night, isn't it?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, Pilani, you're
I'm chilling.
You're able to like resist the cold pretty well. You find yourself like quite shivery and like a bit spooked. It's kind of like making you feel like the cold of when you're getting like a slight emotional cold as well. You know,
Same feeling as when I looked into the book of the Alhoon. So I'm like inside cold.
memories of your like skulking around deep in the freezing underdark and stuff.
All the nights I spent cowering.
Yeah. You kind of get to this central section and you see that here, all the walls and everything and this pool of piss and shit, which is kind of like the main
Feature.
basin, is just like
Landmark.
completely iced over. You can see like these kind of formations whenever you pass like grates and things. You can see where like shit and piss has been chucked down and then kind of like after a couple of meters freezes into
Stalagmited.
Sorry?
Stalagmited.
Yeah, and like poo. Frozen shit and piss. You can see in the distance, those of you with dark vision, which you get to hear, that up here around this corner, I suppose you have to be a bit closer.
Are we going all the way across?
No, so go a bit further back when you spot this thing. So what's this? 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. So 60 feet of dark vision. You can see around this corner.
I've got 120.
Let me just remind myself. But you can kind of make out this fairly tall, like human person. They look entirely emaciated. You can see this like grin in this mouth of, and all the flesh around its mouth is like sunken in and back, so you can see all the gums and everything. And there's these kind of beady blue eyes which are staring intensely at you. And you see she's just got this freakish grin, this creature, as it's staring at you. Well, you can see its little face, I guess. So I don't want you to read anything, but that's the sort of face you're looking at.
Oh, that's creepy as fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah, and kind of around the wall are these fingers which are like 10, 11 inches long, stick thin, kind of like perched on the wall like that, kind of smiling at you. I guess I mean, what do you want to do here? It's kind of a little bit fight time, really. I'm going to keep creepy music this fine, 'cause it's creepy. Yeah, so Enoch, you're first, and you're in this group. Why don't we put all the miniatures on and we'll have a bit of a marching order going on.
Enoch's quite behind one of these big broody guards. And I guess we've sort of seen it, and we've probably like fanned out a little bit like that. I want to say, like just kind of naturally, like Any objections to that, everyone?
No, that's fine.
I'll put you in the back.
Yeah, so Enoch, you're first. What are you doing?
Okay. So I am going to sheathe my sword and run up and hide behind these boxes as my bonus action.
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
Give me an old stealth check.
Advantage as well. Ooh, probably need it. 24. Yeah. And then I am going to throw out a card. And it's 15.
15 to hit. Misses. You throw out this card and it kind of like sticks into the wall, and you see it just the creature doesn't even move as this thing like stabs into it. Just kind of like its eyes just kind of slowly click onto it, and then like look back as I guess you're revealed now.
Yeah.
And it's kind of looking at you.
And
you just
oh no, I've already done my.
you hear it.
Nice.
Okay, nice. Pilana, you're up next.
There's not a huge amount I can do from range, so I'm just going to start plowing towards it.
Okay, nice.
And bonus action is, what is it? Dodge.
Oh, yeah, dodge. Nice. You learn the game.
I've been playing for a year and a bit now.
I know,
yeah.
that time. And as you're there, you see she kind of like, you see her eyes just staring at you, and she just says, "My pretties!" And with that, a load of mean locks just kind of like come like squiggling and squaggling out of these holes.
Oh shit!
And let's
even in the light that we're casting.
Yeah, I'm afraid so. Yeah.
Cool. How many?
So we'll say.
Have you got your tokens, Bosch?
For these guys, like the
little yellow ones or whatever.
Yeah, I think I've got some. Oh, by the way, here's kobolds.
On the left.
Oh, both of them.
That's fake
fuck?
things they've made.
Is that you can play as a kobold, right?
Yes, you can.
Yeah. I was looking at playing as one of those.
Cool.
Token?
It's like a Khajiit, but for dragons.
Yeah.
So one thing.
How many mean locks, just roughly?
We'll say 6 for now.
We say 5.
Sure, we'll run with 5 for now.
Can we say 2?
Well, no, I've got all the.
Surely there's more of these. There were 6 of them.
3.
We had 6.
Oh no, we can say 6. Don't worry about the tokens.
There should be 6 of these entirely.
I'll get some tokens. I mean, I don't have my full amount of tokens, but I'll have a few.
It's alright. We got mind devourers, whatever they are, intellect
So
devourers.
I'll just have these here just in case.
Should we put, because that's 3 right next to this person, should we like spread them out a little bit?
I assume they're all coming from like these little tunnels and shit.
Yeah.
One up there, one out there, one here.
And you know what? We'll say.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to say each of those 1 is actually 2, and we're doing 12.
Okay.
Just because we got the guards here, so.
Yeah,
fair.
Yeah, as they kind of like come scrabbling out, and they make attacks, and one of the things. Oh yes, so
Can each of you please give me wisdom saving throws?
Is this against magic?
Yes, it is.
I'm defended against all magic.
You have resistance that you damage.
Oh yeah, resistance.
Do you have advantage on saving throws against magic?
Where would I see that?
Isn't that within 10 feet of you as well? So that's hitting Enoch too.
To avoid all damage. Wait.
+3 on saves.
+3 on saves, is that? Okay.
Yeah.
Fine.
+3.
Oh, fucking hell, 20 anyway.
Oh, waste.
Yeah.
And what about you,
Oh,
Dorothy?
+3. So 23. I got 14.
Nice. Just so you guys are aware, as well, just something to remind me of in case I forget, when these mean locks are in the light, when they're attacking, disadvantage.
Cool.
Okay.
One of the things you would notice as well is the more observant ones of you is outside the range of your light, you would see that sometimes the mean locks literally like disappear.
Oh, okay.
Something you would have spotted as you've been going down tunnels.
Interesting.
Yes, so we've got 2 by Polana and 2 by Enoch, and a couple by the guards. Half of the guards are frightened of these things.
Shit.
The other half are good.
These two are frightened.
And I'll say they're Enoch's coming behind them as well. So I'm gonna do a group roll for them and just roughly see if it's like a good thing or not.
Sure.
Yeah, I'm gonna say so. That's the disadvantage. Okay. So I'm just gonna do.
Would any of us know what this thing is, by the way?
Can you? Yeah, you might. Can you give me an Arcana with advantage? No, I'm just gonna do average damage.
61.
You're not going to have a good time with
17.
Yeah, that's probably
17.
17 for the what was it
Arcana
again?
to check if I know what this is.
Okay, so yeah, now that you've gotten a bit closer to it, you recognise this creature as what's called a Behur hag.
Ooh.
It's a type of hag. They're these icy witch creatures. They're quite they're like conniving and evil. They're pretty fucked up. This was like a real Fey bedtime nightmare.
Oh really?
Yeah,
oh
yeah,
cool.
real.
Okay.
These creatures are they're not like normal hags. They're not as keen on like making deals and open dialogues. They're much more monstrous.
Okay.
You would have the main stories that you would remember about them is that they will take opportunities to like feast on corpses. So it was always a kind of thing of, you know, don't go to the Winterlands.
Yeah.
You get eaten by a Burhel hag.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay, so with this, so one of the things that you've noticed as well is that the creatures that have been popping up, these are Fey creatures. So this magic influx has caused these Fey creatures to essentially manifest from the Feywild into this place, where they're loving the opportunity to wreak havoc. I'm going to say you'd be well able to figure out basically.
Sure.
Yes, and these Meanlocks, they come out, and so that one of the feared guards and one of the non-feared guards, one of the guards of each of them gets like a slash at the ankles as these little pincers come down and like try and slice at their weak points, try and slice at their Achilles tendons, all that kind of fucked up shit. It's not enough to kill them, but a couple of them are a little bit wounded. Next up, would it be better with combating music maybe?
Yeah, I think so.
Standard or fight music?
What's the difference?
Like boss music or more jovial like do boss music, more scary.
Yeah, not tavern brawl music.
So shall we maybe go one round?
Yeah, cool.
It's a bit late for you.
Cool.
So that was Enoch Plana. That was Enoch Plana, Mean Locks,
it attacks against you guys. So attack against Enoch with. I'm just gonna, because it's disadvantage, but there's 2 of them. I'm just gonna roll once.
Sure.
That's at least a 19. So that's a hit. Did I say? Oh no, I should do rolls for both of them, shouldn't I? So 19. Okay, so that's 1 hit that you've received. Not too bad. And you take.
Oh, I should be full health for this, shouldn't I?
Yeah.
You take 9 points of damage as one of these things pinces at your. Goes to pinch at your back. You're able to deflect it with the sword, but it's the exhaustion.
I'd like to take a long rest.
You did before, yeah. And then there's 2 by Pilar as well.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's no yeah, no, where are you doing? Yeah.
I'm at the back. There's one there.
There's
Okay.
2 there.
I'm gonna say because one of them went for the guard. I'm gonna say one of them's going for you.
No, but there's 2. There's 2 here next to
Yeah.
the and then there's 2 next to Dawn. Oh,
Yeah,
is it?
yeah,
Oh,
one of
okay.
those.
Yeah. So that's gonna be 1 hit.
What did they get?
They got a lowest possible roll. 4 points of damage.
What did they get to attack?
19. They've got so the disadvantage. They got 19 and that 20. So lucky you.
Okay. I'm not going to shield. I'll take the damage.
Yeah, sure. Okay, nice. And next up, you see that this nasty hag.
Is this before me? Yeah.
No, it's not for you.
Okay.
So you go first.
Nice. I was gonna say I'm pretty sure he's done something. I am going to cast Cloud of Daggers
Sure.
On these 2.
Nice.
And while I'm doing that, I'm gonna run over to this. Wait, how long have I got? 5, 10.
Maybe
No, it's tens.
provoking attack
10,
opportunity.
Oh, am I in melee range?
Well, I mean, you were a second ago. We just didn't move the miniatures, I guess. You
Okay.
just got attacked by me, not you.
Alright, in that case, I am not going to move.
It's attack at disadvantage, so not too bad.
Doesn't matter actually. I'm gonna just
Cast my daggers. Oh, there's 2 of them. Which one attacks me?
So each one of them is 2.
Yeah, which one of these 2?
I'll say the one at the back.
This one.
Yeah. So this one attacked your mate and you.
Oh, only one of these 2 attacks me.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, fine.
I'll cast Cloud of Daggers on both of them.
Sure.
So they take 4d4 damage.
Do they not make a save of any kind?
Oh, when it starts its turn there, so actually not yet. But
Okay.
it's gonna.
Sure. So you kind of like this thing like snaps at you, you turn around and just like sort of waving your dagger, it just like multiplies and just like scusses around and it's like flying around. And now it's the hag.
Have you got another token, Mara? What's this?
Yeah, that's
Cool.
You see it
Oh,
kind
so
of.
this one has run up to here. This one's
No, this one hasn't done anything.
Yeah.
It's chilling with the hag.
Okay, and then, but why were there 2 attacking me?
Because that's
each
2.
one of them.
And you see that the hag. What's the 10. Yeah, so up to here, the hag casts Cone of Cold as it kind of like reaches back and like this staff comes forward and it just points the staff down. And erupting from the point of the staff is this cone which spreads out like this and just like fills the whole area with these icy daggers and icicles and everything.
What's the range?
60.
So it won't hit you, you're fine.
Nice.
It goes up to here.
Just stand up a beat.
20, 30, 40.
Um,
It only goes up to like here.
Can I have a con save, please?
No decks.
Oh wait, that's a cool.
That's good. Ooh, nice. Guard's done well.
Only 2 of the guards got hit, by the way, if that makes a difference.
Is it a dex save or
Oh.
a con save?
It's a con save.
16.
Are you sure?
3.
Oh wait, hang on. When it says +3 on saves, that's already factored into all of my saves, isn't it?
It will say, you said if you get the roll.
Yeah, so +6, that already
No.
has the +3s.
Oh, it looks like it does. Yeah, all your saves are super high.
Thing. Is it not just resistance to the damage itself?
No, because I've got +3 on saves here.
Yeah, look, all his
But
saves
what-
are super high, like 9, 8, 7, 6.
But
you know.
why?
Aura protection.
Oh, okay. All right.
But is that already factored into all of those numbers?
Yeah.
I think it
You
is.
assume so, right?
Yeah, because your strength should be a 4.
Yeah.
So it's a 7.
Yeah.
Yours are
okay.
all crazy.
All right. Yeah. So just remember
So
to
you-
-3 off non-magic ones.
Does it say
No,
magic?
it's just on all saves.
+3 to saves.
Aura protection is relating only to magic.
Is it?
Yeah.
If you look on features, it will tell you a bit more about.
I thought it was only damage resistance, but you go further. There it is. While you're conscious, you grant all friendly creatures, including you, within 10 feet, a +3 bonus to all saving throws. Oh, fair.
Oh yeah, baby.
Fuck me.
Unreal.
All right, James, you got +3 to whatever that was.
6.
I got 13.
And then what's the aura of
I
ward?
thought you said 16.
Because I didn't realise I added the 3
fine.
on, yeah. Aura of warding. Me and friendly creatures within 10 feet of me have resistance to damage from spells.
Unreal.
Okay, so these guards all die.
Holy shit.
The 2.
These 2, well, these 4, yeah.
Oh, his guards 2 as well.
Yeah.
Oh fuck.
Oh,
Savage.
rip. Oh, did I grab 3?
Oh no.
Was it stuck to it or something?
One
One of
was
the dwarves.
like, hooked on that thing.
To be fair, it's global.
Yeah. So as this ice envelops them, they just like in fact they stay where they are. They freeze into like a frozen form. It's actually the worst spell. You guys both take you both take 16 points of damage. That's because of the half as well.
Really?
And because of
Shit,
evasion,
son.
do I take another?
Let me see the wording of evasion.
What's that? Features and traits.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm ready to dodge as well.
That gives you advantage against attacks,
Got it.
like regular attacks.
Oh no, it doesn't apply. It's only a dex save.
Fine, okay. Yes, so yeah, you both take these 15 points of damage as this cold envelops around you, and you see that it not killing you immediately. The hag kind of like frowns slightly unnervingly.
Where's your cackle now, bitch? But through a frowny face.
Nice. I mean, we're back to Enoch, so shall we pause?
If you guys don't mind.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, it's 24 plus 11 now. Need to be up at 7.
I might be able to 6.5.
You don't have to walk in the cold.
Yeah, fair, valid.